wonder if they could hear your crunching just now.
I hope they do. I hope
They're
they
like,
enjoy
munch,
our
munch,
carrot
munch,
crunching
munch.
ASMR.
Oh, man. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know we're a little early compared to when I scheduled the stream to be, but, like, we were here, just sitting here, so I was like, we may as well just start. I mean, we're just having a little snack, really.
Yeah.
So, oh, the music. I forgot. Hold on.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you can.
I love how you're like, no.
We don't need the music.
I know, you hate the music, even though you don't like, I mean, you have your headphones on right now.
That's true.
But
Why do I have my headphones on right now? I don't
take them off if you want.
I don't hate the music. I don't know. But maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Lord knows we talk enough in these.
It reminds me in Beauty and the Beast when Lumiere's like, you know, like, it's only right for there to be music with dinner, and he's like, music? That may be way too loud. He's like, music! As if it's, like, personally offensive. Alright, hello, everyone.
Don't it feel good to be alive when there's still Ruby?
Yes. Is that the right capture window? Where's the other one? Oh, okay. Let me just check and make sure this is correct. Yeah, it looks right to me. Okay, hello. Hello, everybody. First time seeing the stream live? Well, welcome. Yeah, we're just gonna chill for a minute and make sure everybody gets in here who wants to be in here, you know? Just because we started a little early, so. Not that we have, like, a scheduled time. We just sort of pop on whenever, but,
well,
you
I was
know.
hoping to get out of here.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll be able to do. Because weirdly, this was a very brisk episode.
Yeah, like, it was...
It was well-paced.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but it was like,
Intense.
I think brisk is a nice word, right?
Yeah.
Like, because, rushed is a bad word, but like, brisk is like, I went for a brisk walk, like, it makes you happy.
Do you feel it was rushed?
No. I actually like the pacing, I wish it was longer. Do you know what I mean? I liked how they switched back and forth between Ruby and the fight. Like, I didn't think that was strange at all. I actually really, really liked, I don't know, because you still felt the tension, the back and forth tension between the two things. I just wish that the episode was longer, like, in of itself, for the sake of it. You know what I mean?
I think that the cutting between the fight scenes and Ruby talking with the blacksmith,
yeah,
it had a similar urgency. Even though Ruby's just talking and they're fighting for their lives, there's a similar urgency and danger to the situation. And, like, that momentum is carried through from the fight scenes into the conversation and back into the fight scenes. So it never felt jarring.
No. Hold on, I'm gonna read the chat. We're also having lunch, by the way. So, like, if you guys aren't familiar with the stream, we tend to just, like, this is how we start the stream. We're just kind of munching, you know? Anyway. It felt like they trimmed anything not plot essential. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah? I
couldn't get mad at you for feeling that way.
I'm gonna think about this, because I don't really want to speculate on what Ruby is tweeting. However, like, Eddie tweeted something to the effect of, like, there's a lot to talk about with episode 9, like, 8, 9, and 10 after it's over, and, like, I don't know. It's hard to tell tone through text. It could be there's lots of stuff we would love to share with you, or it could be there's lots of problems we'd love to share with you, right? So, like, I don't know.
You don't know if there was a treble development or things got cut.
Yeah, like, we don't really know any of that, so I don't like to speculate for that specific reason. However, because of how certain members of RWBY are tweeting, I would not be surprised if that is the case, purely based on their tweets.
Yes.
Right?
And yet, I feel like if I didn't have that outside information, I would feel like it was a pretty brisk episode.
Or speculation,
I guess, and it ended abruptly. Or the speculation. But my takeaway wouldn't have been that it was bad.
No.
Like, my takeaway would have been it was really solid. And, like, it had an ending that made sense, but it felt like...
And, like, I think Eddie also said, like, he wishes that the last 2 episodes released together, because it could feel like a part 1 and part 2.
That's
and that's where I'm getting, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm like, I don't know.
Because it does feel like a part 1 and a part 2 in a way.
And maybe before it didn't. I don't know.
Yes,
and
maybe.
so, like,
But no,
we'll get there when we get there,
even
but I
as
think that the point is that regardless of the, like, whatever,
maybe that,
it
like,
was still really
maybe
good,
that
I
really
thought.
solid, like, fast pace, that, like, momentum that it had made the ending feel brisk.
Yeah.
Because it kept that momentum and those questions up to the very last, like, second, and then they cut to the credits, which, like, jump scared us.
Mm-hmm.
We, like,
yeah, we
bounced
were
back in
really
our
shocked
seat.
that the credits popped up. But
But
people
still
have done
enjoyed
the
it.
math, and they have figured out that next episode should be at least 20 minutes long.
That's good.
Like 26 minutes, but like
Done the math.
credits. Because Jeff told us the exact runtime. So
Oh,
someone
jeez.
did the math of how long every episode is and what amount of runtime we should have left over. So, based off of the math, apparently there should be 26 minutes, but like 6 of those minutes are going to be end credits because it always is, and part of that is the intro. So, like, I don't know, right? Like, about, like, I can't do math. That's why we're here, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's why we have this job, and I'm not an accountant, because I can't do math.
But it'll be a longer episode.
Yeah, I agree.
And I guess maybe that's the point, is that ultimately that brisk pace and that forward momentum was really great until it wasn't able to end on, like, a bit of a plateau.
Honestly.
And it makes it feel almost... Then that's what makes it feel so abrupt. So really, like, it's kind of suffering from its own success.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Which is unfortunate.
But, you know, maybe I'm biased. At the end of the day, if, like, something was trimmed, I'm glad it wasn't Neo. You know? Like, I'm glad it wasn't Roman and Neo last episode. So if the chat, like, because this is why we're talking about this for people that just joined. Someone in the chat says that they felt like that there were cuts. Or that they cut anything, like they trimmed stuff out that wasn't essential to the plot.
I feel like if you weren't watching this show, like, episode to episode, week to week, and
you
watched
wouldn't
it all
notice.
in one go, like, it would probably feel like a breeze.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
These last 2 episodes. I think we can get started.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're good. We are still gonna be, snacking. Also, I'm sick, but I've been drinking a lot of tea and I feel better.
And it's not
However,
COVID.
my tea is empty, which makes me sad, but I still have water. So, I mean, I think that this stream isn't gonna be very long. I think that, you know...
Well, because, I mean, it was a kind of short episode, and I feel like we were getting answers instead of questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like we go long when we have questions, and we go short when we have answers.
Yes, I agree. The only thing, like, that I really want to speculate is about how certain things are ending. Like with Neo and stuff, but even that I don't think will be crazy. We'll talk about the Neo stuff. I know chat seems to be already wondering, okay? Oh, why are we all the way at the bottom for the script? Okay. So this episode starts
with a monster
Summer Rose. So I was thinking that.
Yeah,
I was
Monsters
like,
Inc.,
okay,
right?
well, I guess then this is supposed to be Team RWBY's, like, childhood bedroom.
Ruby's in
or like
the
Ruby
Pixar
and Yang,
universe.
right?
We'll see a big and large in the
I'm
background.
still, like, I'm not
Vacuo.
sure about this anymore. Oh my god, what is going on with my little capture window? Hold on, guys. Okay, there we go. The script looks better now. Oopsie.
We ran a
There we
type
go.
ship over
I know.
here.
But yeah, we'll talk about Neo. Neo sold separately, you know what I mean? Okay. I'm just trying to organize this so we can still read the chat. I don't know how I did this a couple weeks ago. Everything's fucked up because of that one time Hunter was on Zoom somehow. Or like, Discord.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I think
Discord.
that's... this is probably around what we had it before.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Just let us know if anything's, like, wrong, you guys. Okay. Yeah, it's just because there's, like, a lot of, like, I'll just try to condense this. Okay. Yes! So, we start the episode with Summer Rose, and that's the sketch of the tree from the book, like the picture book. And everything. And so Summer is saying, a door opened for Alex at the tree. Before she went back home, the girl had a great many questions to ponder. And this is basically from the trailer, so I'm not gonna read all that. But yeah, Summer looks great. I thought that this was so good because some people did speculate, like, guys, like, what if the narrator is Summer and she's reading the book to, like, Ruby and Yang as kids?
Which
so
I totally did not see that coming.
I want to look at our old videos because I feel like we talked about that once, but kind of like not as our theory, as a theory that someone else had. But yeah, whoever guessed that, they did a great job.
I loved Summer Rose's voice. I thought it would have been cool for Lindsay Jones for them to do it, but the voice actress they got for it was pretty great. I tried to look into her previous credits. I didn't find anything like that I quite remembered, although she was in like Attack on Titan.
She's someone's mom in, I think, My Hero Academia, maybe?
Yes, she's Todoroki's mom.
Oh, well, that's nice.
That poor abused woman.
But yeah.
One that kind of sucks about this is that we don't really see what she looks like, but...
They'll get there, I'm sure, by next episode.
But then in the end credits, like you see her, like, sketch so you know what she looks like.
Yeah, like the concept art?
Yeah, the concept art.
I'm sure that we'll see Summer next episode. Like, yes. I think that's going to be part of... Here's what I think is going to happen. Okay? I think what's going to happen is next episode will open and Ruby will have a conversation with Summer. And maybe it's not the real Summer, or maybe it is, like, we don't quite, like, you know, we don't quite know. And so, like, Summer will talk to Ruby and be like, you don't need to be like me. You need to be like you, and that'll be the point, because a lot of people were like, if Ruby comes back to Remnant looking exactly like her mom, I'm gonna be pissed, and I understand that, but I genuinely don't see that happening.
It would be cool if she got, like, a new outfit that was maybe
like a new outfit, but I think the point that they're gonna be making is that, like, Ruby's gonna have this conversation with her mom, and the end of that conversation is going to be, you don't need to be like me. Like, you don't need to be a perfect reflection of me. Yes. And they're gonna have that conversation, okay? And also, because I can't make anything just about Team RWBY, all right? Don't worry, during Volume 10, this will never happen again. But, you know, we have a theory about Neo that we'll talk about later.
Does she get, like, a spray bottle to spritz you every time you
talk about Neo later in the stream, and, like, I have a new theory with her that we'll probably make as its own video this week. One last time. But it would be cool if, like, Neo picks up Torchwick's cane and has a conversation with Torchwick. And it's sort of the same. Yeah, you know? And so I think that that's interesting.
Also, I like that in the center of her strap chest thing. I'm not entirely sure. Is her brooch that Ruby walks around with. Or Ruby always has on her person. I think that's very cute. She keeps, like, maybe it's the same brooch. Maybe she keeps the, like, her just memory, a keepsake of her mama. It's so cute.
That's gone.
That's dead.
She traded it away.
Oh, you're right.
For the teacup.
A mother's promise. Oh, maybe Ruby can hand it back to her.
Like Summer can hand it back?
Yeah, maybe we learn about what the promise was. Also, that's normal-sized Yang head.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this briefly.
I'm guessing that it would be expensive, but, like, it's believable.
It's so funny.
I don't know. That's, like, her head, but, like, the hair's different.
It's definitely Yang and Ruby's character model.
No, but the head's different. The hair's different.
It's not that different, though. It's
no,
just
because, like,
in.
Maybe.
It's her Volume 5 character short model.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the one from the trailer where they
but, like,
gave them their
normally
old
she
outfits?
has that little bit of volume. She doesn't
no,
have the
but,
volume
like,
there.
I'm just saying, oh, I thought this is so funny.
But look at how big her head is. That's
I know, but it's like, we couldn't afford to make children.
I mean, but that's kind of like how Adrian looked. Adrian had a big head.
No, but, like, because, like, okay.
But you're right, they probably did, like, save a little
Ruby
money.
During that flashback, like in the burn episode, what is it? The candle, you know, whatever. Like, Yang has, like, pigtails and, like, does not look like
she doesn't. Well,
it's funny.
Well, you don't sleep with pigtails on. And you don't see her butt teeth or whatever.
I think this is funny, but I can suspend my disbelief. You know what I'm saying?
I think
like,
it's adorable.
I know the truth.
Okay.
But, like, I can suspend my disbelief.
It doesn't impact the fact that they're fucking adorable.
No.
And, like, how, like, and also they have character in how they sleep, because Yang's all, like, sprawled out and...
But I do think it's very... Because Ruby's supposed to be younger than Yang, but right here they look like they're the same age, really, because they couldn't... You know what I mean? So I just think it's funny. Like, I don't know. It's like how during my show, we had to have a fridge and we put the fridge off stage, even though the fridge is in the kitchen and it made the kitchen like 4 miles long. Like, you just suspend your disbelief and know that we don't have a fridge. And that's why, and we can't bring a fridge in and out like during the play, and that's why you suspend your disbelief. It's kind of like that, like, it doesn't really matter. They're only in the shot a couple seconds. I just kind of personally find it a little hilarious. Like, it's kind of funny.
I guess you're right about the age difference, but it's cute. And also, kids kind of look the same.
I guess, but like, I thought it was funny. But yeah, I love this. Should we talk about the Neo thing now because the Ruby tree's here, or should we talk about it later?
You can talk about it now.
Okay.
Everyone, put your check your watches.
Okay.
This might take a minute.
So, we're gonna make a separate video about this because I feel like that a separate video is necessary. I have a new theory when it comes to Neo, and this theory has given me inner peace. So I'm gonna pull up, I made a thread about it on Twitter, and I just want to make sure I remember everything. So I'm just gonna take a look at it. So we will do a different video about this, but here's what I'm thinking, okay? Because there's some suspicious dialogue in this episode. So basically what I think is that the cat says that Neo has no ties to Remnant anymore, right? And like, we don't actually know if that's true. Like, maybe the cat just can't leave. Like, maybe it has nothing to do with Neo not having attachments or having attachments. Because the cat is like, she has no attachments back to Remnant, so she can't go back. But, like, maybe the gods were smart enough to make it so you can't go in regardless. But anyway, that doesn't matter. That got me thinking, basically. Like, just the cat saying that in general sort of gave me a vibe. But whether the cat is right or wrong, we don't really know. I think that the reveal is gonna be like, it doesn't matter if you body snatched Ruby or whoever. It's not about wanting to go back to Remnant. It's that you cannot go to Remnant. You're a cat, right? Anyway.
You cannot go to Remnant. You're
exactly.
A cat.
Like, the reason why the cat took her was because she was empty. But like, Neo being empty and that being some sort of like check mark for whether you're able to go through the portal back to Remnant or not, like, that doesn't necessarily need to like mesh together. Yes. That's just the cat thinking, oh, I'll body snatch someone and now they can't go through the portal. Why can't they go through the portal? Because they don't care about Remnant anymore. But it may just be because you're not supposed to leave. Anyway, so that's irrelevant, right? Kind of. It's kind of irrelevant. But with what the cat said in general, like the idea that Neo has nothing left to go back to. This is how I'm picturing. Like, this is my psychic vision of how all of this is ending, right? So what I think is going to happen, and whether or not Ruby is involved in this, I haven't quite decided yet. Because, like, okay. So basically, we have this idea that they're going to be fighting with the cat, and someone is going to be like, Neo, you have to fucking fight it, right? Like, you have to fight it. And I kind of like the idea.
You need to expel the cat girl from you.
It's not even like.
You're not a cat girl,
It's not
Neo.
even Ruby trying to help, but she's like, oh, like, you're just going to let yourself get controlled like that? Like, what did Torchwick see in you anyway? Like, you know what I mean?
Reverse psychology the cat out of Neo?
No, not the cat, but, like, of Neo. Like, she's going to kind of, like, verbally berate Neo a little bit. Like, really? Like, this is what, you know what I mean? Like, you're letting this thing control you?
I used to be terrified of you. Now you're a cat girl.
Like, kind of that, like, vibe, right? Like, using Torchwick's memory against Neo. Like, is this what you think? Like, imagine if Torchwick saw you like this, you know, like pathetic like this, right? Like, something like that. So then, basically what happens, I don't know if that's gonna be Ruby. I don't know if it's in Ruby's character to be that mean, but, like, Neo did try to, like, kill her. So I think that's fine. And so basically what I'm thinking is that Neo will regain control just for a moment and make some sort of clone of either herself or Torchwick and get the clone of herself to kill the cat. And that'll be Neo kind of like temporarily helping the heroes and also getting her freedom. So that's how I talked about it in the video we did a couple days ago. It's a win for Team RWBY, it's a win for Neo, but it's a loss for the cat. So basically, like, Neo creates a clone of either herself or Roman, and that's what fights with Team RWBY and lands the final blow. So it's Neo, like, killing herself. And we think Neo's dead. Or something, okay? But the final shot, or something, I don't know. The final shot that we see of Neo, anyway.
Post-credit scene.
Not post-credit, like, of of Neo, just period in general, is that we see her in the wooden encasing that Ruby is in. And it's left to the audience to imagine what happens next.
He's
so that's
reborn
what I said.
in the ever after in some capacity.
Yeah. The
Do you
final
think
shot
she then
will be
returns?
the final shot will be of Neo in the same wooden coating as Ruby. What she will become is left to our imagination. In terms of actually seeing what she would become, though, we see Herb look more or less the same. The change could be simply a change of heart or purpose, but have generally, like, a similar or the same look. Alternatively, they can leave it open-ended, and we think we never see Neo again, but at some 11th hour she shows back up because now she has a reason to go through back to Remnant, and she can go through the door. For example, in Roman Holiday, Roman says Neo could be anything, even a huntress. So Neo, theoretically, if she keeps her memories but decides to change and ascend, could want to come back as a huntress. But the premise is, in general, is that this whole thing would be vague enough that the audience doesn't really know. Like, it's whatever we want Neo to be. And I think that's a very interesting, it's a very interesting end to Neo's character, because it leaves the audience, at least for a bit, because maybe, I talked to Arnold, and Arnold was also like, well, what if she comes in the 11th hour when they're fighting Cinder and she comes back and helps because she's ascended multiple times through the Ever After, and she's decided...
And she looks different somehow?
A little different. And she's decided, she's already been through multiple things, if that makes sense. During the Ever After, I decided I wanted to be a princess, then I decided I wanted to be a fairy, then I decided I wanted to be a villain, then I went back to the mermaid thing again, just because it was fun. And eventually I was like, why not try being a huntress? But since there's nothing to fight here, it gave her a purpose to go back to Remnant.
In this version?
No. She wouldn't be talking, right?
Would you ever be okay with...
Hold on. Let me finish,
talking?
Hunter.
Okay.
So it's this idea that, Neo may ascend in the Ever After as, multiple different, creatures. Neo creatures, but still creatures. And then at the 11th hour comes back to Remnant as a huntress. She comes
Crystal
back
DW fan says Cal's gonna make a Neo video. I'm shocked. We're all shocked.
Neo Infinity War and whatever. But, the premise
I would love
is,
that.
that it's vague, at least for a long time. So it's up to you. And I think that's great with Neo being a character that was fan-inspired, right? By a fan cosplay of Torchwick, and sort of ends in a way that it's open-ended enough to, you don't know what she ascended into. It's up to you to decide. And see, that sort of ending, I talked about not being okay with Neo dying, but that sort of ending actually fills me with joy. Because then it's up to us. You can imagine, she becomes the Mad Hatter.
I'm sure you imagine a lot.
You can imagine she does go back to Remnant, kind of like the chat is saying, Neo Infinity War. So I think that is what's going
Enter
to
the
happen.
Neoverse.
Who
can save Salem? Well, Princess and Thief and Fairy and Mermaid Neo.
Yeah, it's
all
the Barbie
together.
movie, how they're all Barbie, or how they're all different Barbies.
Oh, they're different Barbies.
You know what I mean?
It's she's everything.
This Barbie is a mermaid.
She's everything. He's Roman.
Yeah, exactly, right? And something less violent, though, than Neo, killing herself, could be that, she regains control and stuffs a leaf from the tree in her mouth, and so she forces herself effectively to ascend. And so, I think that is what's going to happen. I am so convinced by this happening now. It would make me happy because it means Neo's not dead. It would also be happy because, it would also make me happy because it wouldn't necessarily imply anything in particular in terms of, I don't know how to explain this. Not knowing that she was dead and never coming back. There would always be...
It
inspires joy. It inspires creativity. It inspires a Volume 10 vacuo rewrite where Neo decides to ascend and become a huntress. And, now she's different and has had a change of heart a little bit, but it's, she makes it not everyone else's problem, but she has to deal with the fact that, just because she had a change of heart doesn't mean the people she hurt did. And that could be, a character arc. It inspires joy.
In the chat, Sarah Sabona says, or becomes a new White Queen as per her vanilla name. That would be clever. I like that.
I mean, I think the point, though, will be that we don't know. We see Neo in the tree bark, but, that's the last shot that we see of her. That's it. We never quite know what she turned into. And it's up to us.
Imagine if she turns into another like Juniper and Juniper and Neo.
Would you
Rabbit
be okay
just
with that though?
frolic in
I
the
would
wilderness
be
forever?
because I think that's the best ending. Really, like, I think that's the best outcome for everyone, and I also feel like it makes thematic sense. For like, Neo has always been a character that's like been kind of shrouded in mystery until Roman Holiday, so this idea that you don't quite know, you know, what she's gonna end up being.
I agree.
I think that's interesting. I still like Neo helps out the blacksmith, but like with this ending, you can still imagine that, like you can imagine whatever you want, like, you know what I mean? And so I think that that's fascinating, and we'll talk more about that in its own video, I think. But yeah, I think that that would be pretty raw. Like, that'd be pretty raw if we see, like, this shot of wooden Neo. And then, if we do see Summer talk to RWBY, we see Roman, and he's sitting down somewhere in his little crossed legs, and he's like, so, what do you want to be? And that's where it ends. Like, that's where, not the episode, probably, because I think they'd want to make it focused on Team WBY, but, like, that's where Neo's situation ends. Like, one sort of final talk with Roman, and Roman's the one being like, so, like, what you gonna be? We'll talk about White Knight, I guess, if we have to. Anyway, so yeah, I'm probably only gonna talk about the Neo theory this once, and then, you know, I think we're good, basically, like,
You've
for the rest of the discussion.
it from your,
but yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy that idea, because I think it's gonna happen. I'm like, I need it to happen. It's not that I think it's going to happen. That is the only way I will know peace. Like, our reaction is on Patreon, and you guys can go watch it. But at the beginning of my reaction, at the beginning of this morning, I woke up and I was like, I don't want to watch this episode. What if something bad happens to Neo?
I got a text. So now, what if you text to me, Hunter, I'm afraid.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just think this is gonna happen. I need this to happen. Like, I need it to go this way. Or else bad things will happen to me. So anyway.
Oh, look at RWBY! That's such a funny shot.
I know. Oh. So this is them leaving the house.
Oh my god, look at Weiss's ponytail. It's like it probably whacked both Blake and Yang's face on the way up.
Oh man. Yeah, so Jean says something. What happened? John says, I don't understand. Alex, the pleaser's now RWBY? What does this place want? I don't understand. Did he say that twice? What did I do wrong?
Yes. I wrote it down, so I'm infallible, as we all know.
Okay, but yeah, like, okay, guys, I'm pretty sure Jean will go back to his normal age. So don't worry.
Yeah, I suspect. Especially because at the end, he gets knocked down dead, so it'd be funny if he comes back. And, like, he's, like, young and hip and twinky again.
Wandering sorceress, I don't think that it's, like...
Which would be
wild.
One
will change while the other loses
because,
themselves.
like...
I think it'll be, like, RWBY stays as herself, but has a change of heart in general, but Neo will become something else. Okay. I think that'll be the parallel.
But if Jean goes back to his regular self, does that mean mentally he'll be, like, 45?
Yeah.
But physically he'll be 20?
Jean will go back to Remnant.
I'm pretty sure.
Normal.
I'm pretty sure this is the same premise of the Zac Efron film 17 again.
But like,
nope, just me 17 again.
I don't know what
Anyone,
you were gonna
never
say.
Mind.
Like, but like
he's 17 again.
But he's
or
not
18
like,
or 19 or
it's
whatever.
It's not like he had like a career. It's not like he had like a wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a dude. He can go back to how he was.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess so. That would be weird, though, because he's, like, all grizzled and bitter
this shot was pretty.
Middle-aged.
I like this shot in Jean's eyes. I thought
all
that was
these young
cool.
whippersnappers are going to want to drink and party, and he's just going to want to stay in, watch the ball game, and share some boomer Minions
I genuinely
memes.
Don't think that Jean's that old, though. I think he's, like, 30.
Yeah.
Like, generously, he's, like, as old as Roman was.
Yeah.
Like, he's not that old. He's not, like, grandpa.
Well, he has more gray than Roman.
Yeah, but, like, he's stressed.
Also,
he has psychological damage.
Also,
Roman dyed his hair.
Roman definitely dyed his hair.
Roman dyed his gray.
Roman's a little vain. You should put that in a fan fiction that Roman dyes his hair.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. I don't know. He does have, like, the face of someone who just by a sheer stress alone...
Like returning from Narnia.
Young.
Yeah. Narnia.
Aged young, yeah. He's like a president, You know, he was like the president of the paper pleasers, and that aged him the same way like Obama.
Can we talk
aged
about
pretty
John
poorly.
slander, please?
Okay.
People?
I don't...
Not you.
Used to. Used to be real good at it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, this was a really bad segue. People hate John.
I feel like people like John more, or maybe it's just I assume other people feel this way I feel about these characters.
I have seen some John slander the past couple hours. I think people need to relax. Like, I say this as the #1 John hater
Of past decades.
of past John, okay? You guys are foul for what you've been saying about
Volumes
John.
like 4 and 5, you were and 6, you were pretty down on John, right?
Right.
He got that haircut, and we started liking him more. We both did.
But, like, yeah, people online have been ranting that he is stealing the screen time. And I'm just like, I feel like people have short-term memory loss. Because the first 5 episodes were Jean-less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This would be like, oh, Neo is stealing the screen time. Like, Roman's stealing the screen time. Like, you know, it's a couple moments. It's just 1 episode. And I think, too, the other thing, like, I understand that some people wanted this to be like a Team WBY volume, but as soon as Jean and Neo fell, that's your fault if you expected it to be a just Team WBY volume. Like, you knew that Jean was falling here.
Yeah.
I guess people wish that he didn't, but, like, at some point, don't you have to cope with knowing that he did, right? And it's so, like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like that in the past, yeah, Jean has been given moments and attention that was unnecessary.
That volume 1 whole bullying arc was kind of rough.
We have been far away from the Jean attention. Like, the reason why this is happening is because Team WBY is already sure of who they are, but Jean and RWBY are not. Like, they're purposefully having Jean and RWBY be paralleled here because they're both doubting themselves, right? And so I understand, like, the idea that John's, like, taking the screen time or whatever,
yes.
But Jean, RWBY, and Neo are the characters that are going through the arc, not Weiss, Blake, and Yang.
As much.
You know?
Well, Blake and Yang had their arc.
Well, no, they had an arc, but, like, their arc, their big thing to fight really was Adam, when you think about it. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, Weiss is still struggling, like, with the fall of Atlas, but I'm sure that'll be more prevalent in Vacuo. So basically what I'm saying is that the whole point of the conversation with Herb was that everybody is okay except for RWBY and Jean. They just didn't know Jean was around yet. And so the reason why I don't mind Jean getting any, like, screen time or whatever is because, like, what would Team WBY do? They're just gonna talk about how sad they are? Like, you know what I mean? They are not the ones...
RWBY's just gonna cry,
like,
Weiss is just gonna kick rocks,
they're not the ones with the biggest doubt.
Yang and Blake
you
are
know what
gonna
I mean? They don't have as much doubt as Jean does. So I feel like that this is proportional and fine.
I feel like maybe it's less that he's taking up too much screen time, but more he's taking up, like, more oxygen because he's had this big dramatic, like...
Yeah, but I think that the oxygen is warranted, not like how people are saying.
I think it is warranted because he's an interesting character this volume. He goes through a lot.
And so, like, people are Jean hating on the internet,
and
which, like...
Look at how much we've changed.
Yeah, like, I really, like, I'm
Defending
telling
Jean.
you, like, you don't understand.
What is this
I
shit?
really hated Jean. There are people on 4chan who still think I hate Jean. Like, to this day, because of stuff that I said during Volume 4
We
and
both
5.
hated
They
Jean.
still think that I hate Jean. They have never progressed into knowing that I don't hate Jean anymore. So, like, my point is that, like, Jean, I feel like, is fine here to have this doubtful moment because it's doubt in direct parallel to RWBY. I think they're both having doubts about what it means to be a hero, but Blake, Yang, and Weiss no longer have doubts about why they're fighting. That's supposed to be the point. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have their own issues that'll, like, you know...
I don't think Jean is gonna be left behind.
No. That would be pretty left field if they killed off Jean like this. As much as we have had, you know, conversations about the possibility.
Yeah,
of,
I don't think so. I think Jean's just gonna go back with them. I don't think he's gonna stick around.
The big question will be if he returns in his Dilf form or in his Twink form.
Yeah, but I just don't think this is a problem.
That's the real question.
You know?
Yes.
I just don't think that this is as much of a problem as people are making it out to be. Like, you still hate Yang? I don't hate Yang anymore. That's my point. Everybody's stuck in the past.
I like all the bonds now.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten rid of your...
During Ice Queendom, I remember you hating Jean, but like, that was Ice Queendom. And I don't think that's true.
Yeah, he was barely in Ice Queendom.
But yeah, like, I think Jean's fine. That's it. That's all I have to say, is people are majorly overreacting to Jean's presence, I think.
Yes.
This episode. It does not feel unwarranted to me, because as the way I see it, it's like the conflicts that everyone else is going through. Like, I don't know, maybe some of the moments with Yang trying to get RWBY out of the tree bark stuff, like maybe more focus on Yang to an extent would make sense. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was fine, is my point.
I really loved Yang episode.
Yeah, me
or
too.
in Volume in general. He's been fun. Also,
But
Mike
yeah.
is like trying so hard to...
We can figure this out. There's got to be a way to get to the tree. And I loved this. I love, like, we are the crystal gems and, like, whatever. And I like that, like, I don't know if this is true, but, like, there seems to be, like, a little soul in there. Or maybe that's just a shine, but, like, maybe this idea that their soul is still in there.
They almost look they have
no
veins
matter
in
what.
there.
Like, you know what I mean? They're still kind of living.
A different form.
You know what I mean? Do you think Yang's reaction to RWBY was too tame? I mean, I don't think so, because they know that RWBY's not dead. They know that RWBY's going to the tree, it seems like. Right? And so their reaction now makes a lot of sense, because it seems like they always knew that RWBY was going to the tree.
Yeah, when they see, especially now, the genteel gems, they realize, oh, RWBY's not dead. RWBY's probably still alive.
Yeah.
They realize that, oh, going to the tree isn't death.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not this terrible thing.
And so I loved this scene with them. I thought that this was great. It may be the reflection of the light, maybe, but I like the idea that, like, because they're transparent, you can see their original soul sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, you guys may be right. It may just be lighting, but I still like it. I don't care.
You can still kind of see the veininess underneath them, though.
Yeah, they still have veins anyway.
I also like how they're all kind of different shapes, you know?
Yeah, like they're not all the same. I mean, this one, these guys are all the same.
But the last
but, like,
one
that
wasn't.
other one wasn't, and I think that was nice. And I just love this, like, you know, they came back as something better. And that's what I hope happens with Neo and RWBY. They look like Pokemon? Okay.
I could see them being Pokemon.
And so I like that, like, no flood or fire will ever hurt them again. And it's like, yeah, they're better than they once were. And I love this. I'm
Let it go.
Well, they must have magic then, because they can just... Whee! Oh, be careful.
Oh, dear.
I mean, you don't need the headphones. Just give them to me.
Sorry about your headphones.
It's okay. Damn, these headphones, they've been through a lot.
Yeah. We've had them since we were in the other room.
Here. I wish I had more tea. I'm sad. Yeah, can we talk about this episode and how, like, we're already on episode 9 and there's, like, no merch in the Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, I feel like they could have little plush paper pleasers.
But anyway, Miles said White Knight is never happening. I mean, Miles also said that, like...
Well, he never said that Bumblebee was never happening. He just wouldn't comment on
White Knight.
I know, but is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that, like, okay. There was a while ago, before Roman Holiday came out, where Miles was like, yeah, we haven't really nailed down the Roman Neo thing. Like, maybe father-daughter, maybe, like the Joker and Harley Quinn, I don't know. And that was wrong.
What did he come out later and said he was lying? Or
No,
that
he wasn't lying. He just didn't know yet. Like, stuff changes. We have to remember that things change, right? Like, over time. Like, they're definitely not Harley Quinn and Joker, right?
Well, because Joker and Harley Quinn is an abusive relationship.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're definitely not.
Maybe
that was
more
not in Roman Holiday.
More Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
But you know what I mean?
Like two fucked up people making it work.
Was wrong. Like, Miles was technically wrong with what came out later. So yeah, I don't listen to the writers about that.
I don't listen to the writers about RWBY.
I'm just saying,
I listen to the voices in my head.
I'm just saying, like, when they confirm sort of thing, like when they confirm those sort of things, and then we actually see what happens, I'm like, but that's not correct.
Anyway.
Minus the abuse, but the abuse is the important part of the Joker-Harley Quinn thing.
They're abusive.
I feel
they don't have a good relationship.
Like, that's minus
they
the
don't
abuse.
respect
like,
each
no,
other.
We still have to. So anyway, like the point was that they hadn't settled on it, and now it's like completely different because it's romantic looking.
Romantic?
Like at least when E.C. Myers, I think, wrote the book, he said he saw it as romantic, and so like it's not father-daughter now. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she can call him that. No, really, Roman would call Neo Daddy.
So anyway, basically what I'm saying is I don't know about that. Like the things change. But yeah, like I'm not a White Knight shipper or anything. I'm just saying
I'm not one of you
like,
filthy White Knight shippers.
But I'm getting a little suspicious, I will say. Neo is the Joker and Roman is Harley. Oh, that's kind of funny. Okay, Hunter's on a roll with the jokes today. Well, someone has to be, I guess.
I try to be funny. Let it go.
Okay.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
But yeah, like... Anyway, my point being, like, ship confirmations.
I love how you said you weren't going to talk about Neo, and here we are.
Well, I was just saying, like, that was the first example that popped into my head.
Neo is like gravity. It all comes back
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's the first thing I thought in my head is, like, the writers saying that stuff is a certain way when they haven't nailed it down yet is, like, the #1 spread of misinformation in this fandom right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I like how the Leaves called to them again.
Yeah.
Because the Leaves did that in episode 3, I think, as Ruby's walking before the herb area.
I love how the tree almost has this calming, nurturing
like
ability.
we all thought that she was
Everyone
gonna be
gets
evil.
calm. Also, look at this absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that was such a cute
face.
little.
Look at my baby. Oh, I love her. Look, she's like, that's my girlfriend. She's gorgeous. And then Weiss is sitting there.
I really don't want to leave because we just started streaming, but my throat hurts.
Okay, you can go up and get your tea.
I don't want to.
No, you're gonna die. Go and grab some. Or you can
I'll get some Halls maybe. I'll try a cough drop instead.
Can I like move forward a bit, or do I just talk about my
Yeah, just make sure to talk about people's, I don't know, little faces. Because like Blake's face was great. Yeah, but you can keep going. I'm okay.
They came back. It's just like they said. They came back from the tree better. And then Yang says, no flood or fire will ever hurt them again. Which is it's kind of nice. All the grief Jean could have probably saved himself by just letting these poor paper pleasers kill themselves. Or not kill themselves, eat themselves, get reincarnated. Oh my goodness. I really can't read the screen where we have things written down. Just the way that this screen in front of us is sort of in front of the secondary screen where we have all our streaming information up. I'm pissed because this is the second to last episode. And over the course of 2 months, Crunchyroll could not get their thumbs out of their ass.
Are we talking about the subtitles?
Yeah, they couldn't fix the fucking subtitles.
Al, you need to take care of your diaphragm. It's not diaphragm this time. It's like seasonal bullshit.
Isn't it that kind of bullshit though? Or the second, are there ever there are people with that probably like RWBY that are hard of hearing or just really prefer that.
So it's fucked.
And it's so fucking terrible. It's ridiculous. Crunchyroll is totally shitting the bed on this one.
I still can't understand why they couldn't just... I know that this sounds stupid, but basically, it seems like something in the code says, if English, no English subtitle.exe. I don't understand why they didn't just make a new category called English UK or something, right? And just load the subtitles into a different category of English and fix it later. You know what I'm saying? Or just
People
call
are saying
it other.
To turn the music down.
Turn the music down?
No, Mom.
Maybe it's because you were being quiet.
I don't think I was that quiet. If anything, I awkwardly fill up the silence.
All right, well, I'll turn it down by
nothing.
3. But yeah, the subtitles were just never there.
Yeah, it's so stupid, and it's really like...
At least they'll be on the Rooster Teeth website. Well, okay, here's the thing, guys. Like,
Rooster Teeth has screwed that up in the past.
The Rooster Teeth intern,
bad.
they're trying their best to tell us, like, wink, wink, we have the subtitles, it's not our fucking fault.
Yes.
Right? Like, the RWBY intern is, like, begging us to realize, because someone says, how does the RWBY Twitter have subtitles, but we don't? That's the point. They're trying to say, they can't say it, because that would be rude, but they're trying to say, it's not our fucking fault.
They want to screw up their professional relationship,
with
but
Crunchyroll. Yeah, exactly. So we have to, read between the lines. Rooster Teeth has been trying to tell us this entire time it's not their fault.
Because someone says, considering who owned Crunchyroll, user support is not a priority.
I don't know.
Amazon?
Microsoft?
Sony?
I don't know.
Microsoft would be amusing.
But yeah, the reason why the official RWBY has subtitles is because they have the subtitles. The Crunchyroll website cannot load them.
They keep screwing the pooch. It's miserable.
It's
at this point that, like, we bought a Crunchyroll subscription. We're watching this legally, but it's like, can we pirate this RWBY?
Can we pirate
just
the
to get the screen tots and the subtitles?
Well, no. I think that, like, I don't know. I wish that they released the subtitle.
Like, open subtitle thing.
I wish they released the subtitle file, because then we could load the file into our own video, like how we screenshot the episodes.
Yes.
But yeah. Do you think Neo is already dead? Maybe, but we talked about the fact that she's going to ascend.
Possessed,
I think she's possessed too. I think it's like Xehanort, But either way,
demons.
I think that, like, she's going to turn into one of those wooden RWBY thingies.
Yeah, she's gonna turn into a tree.
Yeah.
She went to the tree, and then she becomes a tree.
Yeah.
When you want to say you want to kill yourself, you say, I'm gonna go to the tree. When you say you want to get better, you say, I'm gonna become a tree.
Yes. So what did you talk about with them?
I said they'll come back
better. No flood or fire will hurt them again?
Yes.
Did we talk about John's, like, by trying so hard to save them,
I didn't talk about that.
I stopped them from becoming what they needed to be. I was being selfish. I was being selfish because I wanted the rush of rescuing someone, and I got that here. And I'm like, why do people hate this? John had a moment of self-reflection, and we hate that. This is what we wanted him to realize the entire time, that he was holding them back, and he was doing it for his own selfish reasons. I think that this was great. And I like Weiss's little pep talk, because it feels like she's not only talking to John, but she's also talking to herself, right? Because Weiss has also had a problem with being perfect, and this idea that she, I'm not perfect, but I'm leagues better than you, but she wants to be perfect, right?
And she worries about holding up to
the fairest of them all, you could say, right? So I think that, like, her saying, we've been telling ourselves that failing means we're no good, but I can guarantee even the best huntsmen in history have lost. Like, what people are missing is, it's not just to comfort John, it's to comfort herself, because Weiss has also had, like, a little thing here about losing Atlas and everything. So that's how I see that line. It's also, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just about John, it's about Weiss losing an Atlas as well. Guys, we'll talk. We already talked about Neo earlier. You gotta go back.
Go
back to where RWBY was in the wood.
Now.
We can't talk about it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Weiss gets it because she's been held to a high standard her whole life. I'm sorry for saying this, but that is starting to make me starting to make me consider White Knight more heavily. And you guys need to stop because I don't like how that makes me feel. I don't like how it makes me feel that I'm actually considering this.
You don't like it? Just embrace it. Embrace the trash. It's fine. Not all of us have my
Weiss and John not being so different. I don't know. I need to stop.
They are so different, They all worry that they won't reach their high expectations.
Like, you don't choose your ships. Your ships choose you.
I agree.
Right? Like, you don't choose your ships. All right? Your ships awaken inside you in the middle of the night. Right? You don't choose.
Like a vision from an angry god.
You don't choose Roman Fox and Neo in a polycule. You wake up one night and decide that you
Or Neo Fox and Coco.
Anyway. By blocking you, I would deserve it, I know. But yeah, I need to stop. But I feel like, genuinely, as an objective eye, because I don't care about who gets with Jean or who gets with Weiss. Like, as an objective, unbiased opinion, I would not be surprised if they are trying to set up eventual eventual Jean and Weiss, because even though this moment wasn't romantic, it, like, I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying that I feel like that they are planting the seeds to set it up because RWBY doesn't do kind of, how do you say, like, haphazard romance. Like, we've never really been introduced to a couple who has already been together. You know what I mean? Like, we don't see Coco just casually, like, you know, arm around some bitches, right? Like, we never see anything like that.
Although I would love to see Coco with her bitches.
Characters. You know what I mean? We only have ever seen characters slowly get into relationships versus just being. And because we have seen that so many times, I now know what that looks like, right? With Bumblebee and Renora and whatever. So I'm like, I'm getting a little suspicious that they're going for White Knight. Like, there have been some weird things happening. I don't know.
Fruit.
Like, there's some suspicious... Do you know what I mean? Right? Like, I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but it's like, there are shows that do a lot of romance very differently, and so you can kind of never guess.
Yes.
But RWBY is so obvious when they're trying to make something romantic that I'm like, am I reading this wrong? Or like, what is going on? Like, what is going on with Jean and Weiss? Because even though I don't ship it, I'm getting like suspicion. I'm having like the tingle of like
the tingle.
Like,
you're getting your Sherlock's Holmes detective gear out, and you're looking at
does that make sense? Like, I don't ship Jean and Weiss at all, but I'm like, even I'm like kind of side-eyeing, being like, is this supposed to be more than it is?
Are they more than friends? Asked Hannah Montana.
Miles ate this line though.
Oh,
like,
Miles
holy
and
shit.
Lindsay
like,
have both been amazing.
But I'm saying like that
episode.
Weiss, that like
but
simple.
Yeah, especially.
I'm just like, I don't know.
I know.
It could be platonic.
It's not there. It's there.
Like,
not
I wish
there.
someone would look up at me like that. You don't look up at me like that.
I can't look up at... First off, you have a boyfriend. Secondly, I am a foot taller than you.
Saying, like,
I cannot look up at you.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, their faces are so tender. And, like, it could be platonic, but, like, I wish someone would look at me that way as a friend. Do you know what I mean?
As a friend.
Does that make sense? I'm like, I don't read the interaction as romantic. I'm just wondering if they are setting up for romance.
Feel like,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like what undercuts the romantic stuff is that after they hug, everyone
but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the moment is romantic. I'm just wondering if they're planting the seed for something in the future.
Do you remember?
Know what I mean?
Do you remember that old Tumblr fake story, copy pasta thing about Jord or whatever his name is, and his 3 weed smoking girlfriends?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. What?
But maybe someone was on Tumblr back in the day and they know what I'm talking about. But this has very big like Joey and his 3 weed smoking girlfriends. Obviously, it's a friendship moment. Like, it's a friendship moment. It's a platonic moment. But like, I don't know. I'm like, Sean, like, where are your hands, Sean? No, that's waist. That's
nice.
back. That's back.
That's fine, right?
He's not grabbing like a big, like, heaping
I don't know. I'm just
slice
like,
of schnussy.
No, but like, that's kind of low still.
Not that low. That's like, that's like on your lower back. Like, that's...
Yeah, but like,
when
look
you
at where they're hugging. They're hugging, like, up.
Well, you also don't know, like, Blake could be grabbing just a hand of his ass.
I don't think.
Like a good, like, happy...
RWBY has also looked at Weiss like that, but like, I agree. But I still agree.
Glad people are remembering my weed-smoking girlfriend reference.
And apparently, people...
Yeah,
he kept
but
his
only
hand
for a little bit.
Only
for a little bit.
No, it's still there.
Okay,
Hunter.
but then the leaves comes and they let go, but Blake and
I don't
Yang...
think...
No,
okay,
they do.
Yeah, they do.
They let go.
But I'm just saying, there was lingering.
There was lingering touches.
There was lingering. I'm just saying.
There's Linger. I mean...
If you think that this... Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like Weiss is a bit more into Jean than Jean's into her. Because,
well,
like,
he is
she's the one that's still
mature now.
looking. Right?
There's so
I'm
much,
just saying,
there's so
I
much,
don't
like...
know.
Not to talk about the ship that I talked about last time that people got upset at me for.
Hunter, are you gonna get canceled for heterophobia a second
All
time?
I'm saying is that if they did date and Jean's like in his 40s and Weiss is like
Jean would
19,
go back to normal. Jean would go
that's
back to
a
normal.
little funky.
Jean would go back to
but
normal.
mentally, he's
It
still
doesn't
like
matter.
40. You know what I mean?
I'm 40 inside of my head, and that's.
But you aren't. No, Cal, I know you. You're not.
I remember when I was a kid, my mom was always like, "Yeah, like Cal's an old soul. Like she never plays with the other kids.
That's
she just hangs around the
That's
adults."
just
right?
because you are autistic.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's what they call all of us.
I'm just saying.
I got the same shit, I assure you.
Like,
but he has literally
not weird.
been alive like 20 plus years
Let me ask
longer.
you this, Hunter.
Yes.
Okay? In Kingdom Hearts,
Yes.
there's a character
Yes.
who has been alive
Yes.
for hundreds of years.
Yes.
But they are a teenager and
Yes.
act like a teenager.
Well, they were cryogenically frozen, right? So they were
no,
unconscious.
they weren't frozen.
Oh.
They're remembering how old they were before. Like, they're remembering that they are that old.
Okay.
And the things they went through. But they're still fundamentally, like, they are still the same character. They are just old. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, because, like,
well, I don't know what character you're referring to.
Okay, well, in Birth by Sleep, you remember Ventus? The blonde one? Yeah, so he's, like, from a whole different age of Keyblade Masters, like, thousands of years ago.
Okay.
And, like, Marluxia and Larxene and Axel are all, or maybe not Axel, hold on. Marluxia, Larxene, Demex, and Luxord are also all from, like, 1,000 years ago. But they still just act like however old they're supposed to be.
Well, then I don't know. If that's fine, I guess. If they're
I know,
all, like...
but I'm saying, like, but John's an adult still. Even if he's 40, Weiss and him are the same age.
Well, no, because he's been alive longer.
Doesn't matter.
Because he went back in
I'm
time.
bringing up the Kingdom Hearts thing, because it's like, okay, so Larxene is like in her 20s.
Listen.
And Marluxia's in his 20s. Like, would you not ship them with anybody else because they're old? And like, Ventus is like 18 and he's supposed to be baby, but he's actually like has all these old memories. You know what I mean?
Does he remember those? Are they
He's
flashbacks?
going to remember.
Okay, well then until he remembers his aeons of existence, he's functionally not that.
Right, but he will, because everybody else has.
Okay, well then that's normal.
But like, he's gonna remember how old he was. The Ethics and Compliance Office shall
sacrifice as many cats to Cthulhu as necessary to make this ship happen. Also, Queen Hunter, don't make human friend Steve cry again. I'm sorry, human friend Steve. Listen, I'm not against it.
Oh
right?
no, but
I
I'm
am
saying,
24
I don't
years
get,
old.
like, oh,
if I had the
mentally
opportunity,
older, like,
if I had to get to an opportunity to like a very attractive woman in their 40s, I'd fucking take it.
Someone pointed out that John doing the same thing every single day is not growing mentally. Like, it's not being mature. It's not growing to be 40. He has had fundamentally no significant, like, difference in life experience because he's been repeating the exact same shit every single day since he got here.
Other than he probably feels like a paternal, almost dad figure to the paper pleasers.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
But now he realized that was wrong.
He's also been, like, grinding it out
for years. I'm just saying, Hunter,
you know?
I don't think that if John turns back into his young self, I don't think that that's gonna be like, is it ethical to ship John with anyone?
I don't. No.
He's older now?
No, I don't. Like, personally, I don't care. Like, personally, that doesn't bother me. But that's gonna freak out other people. That's gonna be a little weird for other people. That could potentially, and that's also, like, it's the type of thing where it wouldn't bother me, but, like, it would be funny to bring up. You know?
Like, I don't know. If John becomes his normal age, I just think it's fine.
I don't know, man.
And it's like, I don't know.
If you go to prison when you're 18 and
That's
you
different.
get out when you're 40, and because you've been doing the same thing over and over again for 20 years,
Maybe.
does it mean you're okay to date 18-year-olds
That's
again?
different, though, I think. Because it can't be the exact same thing every day. John's been going through the exact same
Well, it
thing.
can't be the exact same, you know.
But he
I'm sure-
has been going through the exact
I
same
know,
thing.
but even then, it seems like, you know, he like was teaching, he was helping
It's
Pura.
also magic.
He was helping Pura with her homework. It's almost like, you know, like a relation, like he was his dad.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't
know.
care. I don't care. I'm not bothered by it. I think you can ship Jean
But that
with
means
whoever
that
you want.
John will never find happiness because he grew old.
Yeah.
Unless he finds it with an older person. But I feel like
Imagine if he dates Pura's mom.
that would be
That
much
would be
more
so
problematic,
funny.
wouldn't it?
That
Right?
would be hilarious.
Everybody has a problem with age gaps, but then it's like, well, John's mentally 40, so yeah, like Willow is 50 and being a cougar mom, that's fine.
I'm not bothered by
It's
any
fine
of
for
those
Willow to date
inclinations.
19-year-old John just because he's mentally older.
Well, and physically, if he doesn't.
No, but if he changes back to normal,
Do I think that's okay?
I'm just saying, like, by your logic,
I
John
mean,
dates Willow, and
yeah.
he's mentally older,
Well,
but he's 19
okay,
years old.
Okay, but I also
in
said
how he
that
looks.
I
and
also
that's
said
less problematic
I also
than
said
Weiss dating Sean
I
when they're the
also
same
said-
biological age.
wait, first off, I also said I didn't have that much problem with John dating
No,
Weiss.
I understand. I'm just saying.
So don't put
for the
this on
logic
me.
in general, like for people's
Technically,
logic.
yeah.
For other people's logic, you think it's better for Jean to date an older person as a 19-year-old than a person the same age because he's mentally grown.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
I don't think that they're.
I mean,
I don't
physically,
think that's
it's
gonna happen.
weird.
I don't think they do that.
I think we've run into the awkward situation that, like, oh, someone leaked the final on 4chan?
I don't think so. There was
dear.
a leaker on 4chan a couple weeks ago, and they were kind
They were
of.
full of shit?
Yeah.
Well,
they
it's
were a
4chan.
little, hey, can you tell me if my Neo theory's right? If she does become wood?
But no, I'm just saying that, like, it's not even that there's one situation's that worse and one situation that's okay.
right.
It's just an unfortunate situation in general when you think about that. Because either, no matter, because either it's like he dates another person who physically is younger but is mentally older,
Yeah.
but it's always going to be slightly incongruent. Either he's dating someone mentally younger than him or physically older than him.
But
it's a little
I
bit
don't want to
awkward.
get into the ethics committee thing again.
No.
But we watched an episode of Agent Attorney Woo where
Yes.
they said that the girl that was autistic
Yes.
was not mentally old enough
Yes.
to decide whether or not she could have a boyfriend and
Yes.
have sex and be in love.
Okay,
but the
but
whole point of that
that's-
episode is that she can, even though they think she's mentally younger.
Well, I mean, I
so
think
isn't that
the episode's a little gray on some points, but I agree with your interpretation. But I also think the notion of like a mental age
I
of
think
someone
mental
with
age
a
is
mental
bullshit,
disability
is what I'm saying.
versus like literally you've mentally lived many years
I'm just saying
and your
mental
body
age
physically
is
has
not,
gone down.
But
Like nobody
know.
in Attorney
I'm
Woo
just,
has
right. But I'm just saying mental age has always been questionable and has roots in questionable.
potentially.
Just questionable roots in general.
Potentially, but I'm not talking about that mental age. I'm talking about
yeah.
a literal magical situation that's not really
Yeah,
applicable
I
to
know.
our actual
I'm just
lives.
saying, like, mental age, period. I just hate that phrase. I just hate mental age. Like, Jean's mentally older. I just hate that.
I guess how his his lived existence,
Yeah,
Versus
his lived
his-
experience. I
his
think
time
that's
on,
better.
his actual mental time on Earth versus his
But yeah,
physical
that's why I just wanted to bring that up, because I hate, like, mentally older, or, like, you're mentally younger,
Yeah, but
or, like,
that's a
whatever.
different- that's a
like, you know what I
different-
mean? I just hate it.
That's a different
Yeah,
context,
yeah,
so.
but I just hate it, period.
I know.
I hate people using it in this context.
But like, what the fuck else are we gonna call it?
Like, Jean has more, he's lived longer.
more. Yeah,
He's
which is the
lived
same
more.
thing, basically.
I guess, but it's not, I don't know. Like, mental age makes it sound like you can, I don't know. Like,
I hope that Jean is just swimming in milk when he gets back.
maybe.
I hope he comes back and he finds in Vacuo all those moms that wanted to give him casseroles when he was in Atlas.
I don't know. I hope
I hope he just cruises through those hoes like Drano, as 303 taught us.
Anyway,
Or no, was that
I just think
Can't
it's like,
remember.
I don't know.
Anyways,
like,
moving forward.
Then there's like, okay, here's another question for you.
Sure.
In Twisted Wonderland,
I've never played these things.
it doesn't
I
matter.
don't-
Hold
okay.
on. Malleus is a fae,
Yes.
okay, and he's lived for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But he's a teenager.
Sure.
And goes to school.
Yeah.
As a teenager.
Yeah.
But he's also lived for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So can he fuck the main character?
Well, that's like the Twilight issue of like
Right.
of like
He has more
Edward
lived
is like
experience. He's
150
technically
years
older.
old. The fact that also
So
like
I'm saying, is Jean going back to Jean not the Twilight
I remember.
experience?
Okay.
Like, is that not
Okay.
Twilight?
All right. So here's my excuse to that.
How is that different than Jean being mentally 40 is what I'm asking.
So they're all, I'm saying like, yeah, it's not that much different. It's all weird that like Edward Cullen has been 17 or 17 for like 150 years and he's dating a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But also that book was written by a Mormon and there's a lot of weird shit in that book.
But
As for whether or not I think that's okay, so do you know Scott Pilgrim? Let me explain this. You know Scott Pilgrim versus the World? I can bring up something I like now. In the very beginning, Scott Pilgrim, he's meant to be this like loser character, and he dates Knives Chan. And Knives Chan, I think her last name is. It's been a while since I've watched it or read it. She's like 17 or 16, and he's like 22 or 23, which is creepy as fuck. And the whole point is that he's just like, the whole point is that he's like still a man-child. He doesn't actually do anything physical or anything like that crosses that line with that teenager. It's more about how he's just a man-child and he's in an ability to grow up.
right.
As a kid, when I first saw that movie when I was like 12 or 13, I didn't get why that relationship was weird.
Well,
And I didn't understand that we were meant to think that Scott Pilgrim was a weirdo. Years later, Chow. And then years later, I grow up. I'm like, 22 or 23. I'm the same. Well, now I'm 24, but at the time I was the same age as Scott was in the comic.
right.
And I look back at it, and I'm like, dating a 16-year-old? That's horrific. That's awful. Why would you ever do that? And so that's why I think that like Twilight and that gets away with it. Because, like, when you're a teenager, you don't realize how creepy being someone in their 20s is dating a teenager.
Right.
Because you don't have that reference.
But
So now at 24, I'm not even in the hundreds. At 24, I would be like, I look at Edward and I'm like, why the hell? Like, dude, you're ancient. Why would you want to go back to high school? That's insane. You're a predator. This book is insane.
but
That's how and it's
in
a
the
fantasy.
cultural context though of
But it's-
why people don't find
But it's also a fantasy that you want like this big older man who's still a teenager and you want a mature adult because a lot of teenage boys aren't the most mature people in the world. So like I get the reason why people do that, at least in Twilight, and I get why it's successful, which is actually partly why I don't really care if Jean does get with people because like it's a fantasy, it doesn't affect anybody, it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But it is weird. And so with that, like, if you're asking me, do I think it's strange? Yeah, I think it's strange because I now have that context.
But I'm just like,
that was kind of
with
rambling.
Twisted Wonderland, I'm like, but
But for that, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's weird because it's like Edward, right? Like, why are you in high school? You're a magical fae.
but
Go
he's
do
a
something else.
teenager. Like he's a fae teenager, and he'll be a teenager for another
Unless it's like
100 years until he gets old.
but then again, like he might just be a different. It could be like a Grogu thing, where like Grogu, Baby Yoda, is 50 years old but still an infant.
Right.
So
right,
maybe
right.
like mentally.
But that's why I'm asking because
then that's
Malleus
fine,
is physically
I guess.
18, I
Sure.
guess.
Or
but
mentally.
like he's been alive. So if Jean is 19, but he's been alive,
If he mentally
that's why
and
I brought this
emotionally
up.
has the thing of a teenager, and he's just going to be like that because a fae as a species developmentally are just teenagers for a
But
longer
he's still
time.
more mature because he's older and he's seen
Well,
the things. That's
yes.
why I brought up Malleus, because I thought Malleus was a good comparison to Jean, because all we're arguing about is meant like this idea of, oh, well, they've lived longer.
Well, then, like,
or
but
they've
then
lived
also-
more, but they're biologically
also-
back to 19.
Also, I
or
feel
they're
like
still
teenagers
19.
are like the way they are, not necessarily just because they're a storm of hormones, which they are, but also they just don't have the lived experiences to kind of
Right.
know how to think and feel. So, like, I take that back, actually. Like, physically, he could look like a teenager, but mentally and emotionally, unless they, like, make it that he's some kind of, like, habitual man-child.
Who, John?
Or no, the fake character
Oh,
that you talked
okay,
about.
yeah.
That he's gonna act like a teenager and not learn any of those lessons, which is not really how, like, personal development and your growth and your turning into adult really works.
Right.
But, like, that's fine, I guess, if it works like that for them, where they stay a teenager. But then, like, weirdly, then they would stay a teenager and their human partner would probably
eventually
grow
die.
older
Yeah.
and, like, be disinterested
Which is a
with dating a
thing.
teenager. If it's just physical, then, like, yeah, physically they look like a teenager, but if they're ancient, they probably have developed, and that would
So
be
what
weird.
I'm asking, so it is weird then for
Yeah.
John to still.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
That's the whole point I was making. It is weird, but, like, it doesn't bother me that much, because it's a fantasy. Who
Okay.
gives a shit? You know?
Well, I think we can move on because I just wanted to know. Like, I just wanted to know. You know what I mean?
but I think it's weird, and also, this is just, we're talking about a TV show, we're talking about a book. If there are any teenagers in the audience, if you're like 17, 18, a little older, and if someone much older than you tries to, like, get to date you, be very, I know
Yeah.
you're laughing because you're dating someone older, but you were, like, in your 20s.
Yeah,
Like, be
yeah.
cognizant of that, because they probably don't have their best interest in you, and they can very easily take advantage of you, and you're not always as smart
But
as
yeah,
you think
I
you
was
are.
just I wanted to know just because, like, I wanted to know what you thought just because it's something that's so common
Yeah,
and
it is.
no one really cares. I mean, I guess people care with Twilight,
'Cause
but
it's a
like,
fantasy,
no one's
you know?
like, you know, you can't date Malleus. Like, no one's, Malleus
Yeah.
is probably Malleus is the reason why people wish that Twisted Wonderland was an Otome game. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what I was wondering, like, in terms of, like,
We're
you know,
eating these little Paw
I
Patrol
can't
Welshes
open it. Can
thing,
you open it?
and they're a bitch to open.
Anyway, but yeah, I think we can move on. I just wanted to investigate that, but like,
yes.
I think it
So
would be
I wanna
funny
specify
if
that my
Weiss
feelings
doesn't
about-
like Jean anymore when he goes back to normal.
I was just like,
I
oh,
do think it would be
how
funny.
unfortunate. That would be super amusing. That would be such a fuck you to the, like, I don't know.
But I don't think it would be weird if they got together, even though Jean has been alive longer or whatever, even if he goes back to normal. I just don't care that much, I guess.
Whenever I think about age differences in media, I always think about Gerard Way, who's the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, was asked to write a song for the Twilight movies,
Yeah.
and he didn't do it, and his response was, I'm sorry, I can't open this.
Oh.
We need, like, scissors or something. His response to why he didn't do it was like, that's a stupid book. If I was 100 years old, I wouldn't date a teenager. I'd become, like, a professional flautist and make that Philharmonic cheddar. And that's what I always think
What's
about.
Philharmonic?
Like a Philharmonica,
Oh.
like a symphony.
Oh, I see. I guess? I don't know. But yeah, like, I like the idea.
Jump Jam's here. Oh, Jump
I like
Jam.
the idea that when Jean gets back to Remnant, like, Weiss won't like him anymore. I just don't think it would be weird if Jean ends up with, like, Neptune after
Son of a bitch.
being
I'm gonna
old.
cut this
Or,
open.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would be weird for Jean to get with, you know, anyone. Like, I don't think Jean and Sun would be weird now, or Jean and Weiss would be weird now, or Jean and Neptune would be weird now.
Jump Jams, thank you so much for the art you put out this last week. It has been, like, fucking brilliant. You're angry Neo holding the signs that says, fuck you, you're cringe. I'm going to use that as a response for the rest of time. Do we have, like, a knife or
Let me
something
look.
here?
But yeah, what I'm
That's
saying
something
is I
pointy.
just don't think it
This
would
is
be
ridiculous.
weird. Like, I don't think it would be weird for Jean to get with anyone just because he's lived here for that long. That feels like just punishing Jean from finding happiness for
Yo,
no
these
good
fruit snacks are
reason.
presumably meant for children.
Yeah,
How
I
the
know,
fuck does
right?
a child open
I don't
this
have
shit?
anything. You may have to leave.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well.
But yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, on principle, I don't think that any Jean ship should now be problematic. Like, you know.
I mean, I don't
And I know you
personally
don't think
care.
that either, right?
I don't personally
Can I keep
care.
going?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay.
I have a... Oh, there's a key. I can probably open it with this.
Okay. Anyway. Cal confirmed Noah Arc. I mean,
There
no,
you go.
I'm just saying, I'm just giving suggestions. Thank you.
Very well.
I'm just suggesting, like, period. Like, I was giving examples. But John is straight?
Hey, man. He's been all alone for like 20 years. Nothing but paper people to give him company. I'm sure you like learn
I like
something
Jean
about
and
yourself.
Weiss buy for buy, you know?
You like everything buy.
I like everything buy for buy. Most stuff buy for buy. Anyway. But yeah. I don't think they're actually talking yet. Until they see Herb. Like, it's not a place you go, it's the place you know. Thing. And then I love this. See, so Herb comes back, and he's looking like pretty roughly the same when he breaks out later. But yeah, I love this scene with like Yang desperate to try to get Ruby out. But I'm just like, why are you breaking the tree, bitch? Stop hurting the nature. Even like Weiss does that. Like Weiss likes to yank something down. I'm like, why are you hurting the nature, guys? I love how, I don't know, what is this? Yeah, Blake's like crouching because of that branch. But yeah, I like how Jean's like,
almost touches the hair.
Like, we have to get her out of here. I think I get it. This is how we got here. Why the tree brought us here. Acceptance. Yeah, I just love this. I love all this.
I love how Juniper the entire time is just hanging out here like, man, I'm a giant fucking rabbit.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
I guess we'll talk about that later, but...
Also, why isn't Juniper fighting Neo? I mean, I guess...
Yeah, where did he go?
I guess when Juniper is like...
Herb wasn't bipedal before, right? No, he wasn't. But yeah, I like this line. Like, we've done everything we can. Now it's up to Ruby. Whatever happens next, we have to welcome that. And I thought that was good.
Also, all the little Bumblebee touches and their moments. I love that, like...
Yang, stop tearing the branches off. I know, right? Yeah. Keep going.
I also love how, like Jean and Weiss try to reason with Yang, but it's Blake that's able to just, like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, baby. It's all right. Also, and I don't know if you can...
But what if she isn't Ruby anymore when she comes back? Maybe, but that's not for us to decide. So I'm assuming what's gonna happen is, like, Ruby is gonna choose to stay as herself, but be better. Like, mentally better, but not actually
Don't you wish you could just go to the tree and become mentally better?
Whereas Neo will decide to change into something else, but then we never see that. But yeah, like, even like this, like, Herb looks fundamentally the same. He just has legs.
Yeah,
so I feel like that, like, you know, in the idea that, oh, Neo comes back at the 11th hour, like, people are like, oh, but she'd look totally different. But, like, not necessarily. She can
and
look
ironically,
pretty much the
unlike
same.
Herb, Neo comes back with a worm body.
Oh my god.
Like the mighty Shai Hulud.
But I'm just saying, like, I really hope I'm right, because I feel like that we could get into, like, the Neo universe of, like, what she decides to do after she gets out of the wood thing. Like, you know, like, it's just, again, like, it's Mermaid Neo, and, like, her and Roman live in the ocean for a while, like, her and a Roman clone, and then it's like, yeah, you know, Fairy Neo, and then maybe she tried Furry Neo, like, you know, she just goes through. Yang being anxious here makes no sense. Acceptance is the step before you get to the tree. Why is she here if she has reservations? I don't think that she has reservations
She's
about
just worried,
the tree. I think she has reservations about Ruby, which is different. Like, she's worried about Ruby, not about the tree. She knows she's accepted the tree.
Which I understand that that's
You know
a bit of a contradiction.
Like, she's accepted the tree, but she's afraid of what Ruby will choose, which is different.
Yes. I also think that there's this notion of, like, it's just that Yang's protective instincts. It's not even, like, she understands that it'll be okay, I think, in the long run, but her immediate protective instinct is like, my baby sister's in a tree. Must protect, must save. That's the impression I got of it.
Like, they've accepted the tree, but I feel like Yang is so overprotective, she's almost like, but how will Ruby be able to make the right choice if I'm not there to help her?
Yeah,
right? It's more like that. I think it's more that way. Not in, like, a selfish way or anything, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Just sort of like, how will she be able to make the right choice without us? Yeah. That's what Yang is saying, I think, with that line, in a way. Like, it's not that, you know? Like, it's not that she doesn't trust the tree. It's that she's always been like, oh, but, like, how will Ruby make the right choice if we're not there to support her? But the support has to be on the outside. The mechanics of the tree were so consistent until this chapter, now I'm confused. I'm not.
I don't know.
It makes
I feel like
sense
it's
to
all
me.
right.
To me, it makes sense, right? Like, Herb comes back as the better herbalist.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't change into something entirely different. He's just a better herbalist now for whatever reason. We don't know why.
And maybe he looks physically different. It's the same way that like the paper pleasers.
People. Yeah, they come back.
They're similar, but they just look a little different.
Mm-hmm.
The same way with, well, maybe not the same way with the little prince.
Yeah.
The prince maybe changed more.
But yeah, like I think
but we also don't know what the prince used to look like.
Because I already had the theory that the blacksmith either asks you to stay as you are, like you get a choice. You can either stay as you are or you can become someone different. Because Yang, Weiss, and Blake all chose to stay the same. So I thought that the mechanics of the tree were always like that. That they were always like, you can either choose to stay the same or you can choose to come back as something entirely different. And that people, I don't know what Herb would fall into, if he's entirely different or if he's the same but better. So I think it makes sense. Like, it makes sense to me what happened. You know, it's just a question of, like, does Herb remember his old life? Like, those are the things we don't really know exactly.
Oh, they're holding each other. My babies. Oh.
Like, what the actual tree does make sense, but how people get there doesn't make sense to me. It's because the tree called out to Jean again, and Jean finally accepted the call. Because you see the leaves pass by Jean.
They all seem to all recognize the call.
Yeah. The tree reached out to them again in the form of the leaves, and this time Jean accepted.
Also, like,
Jean
I feel like
the cat was right about the tree.
The tree beckons you, and the tree lets you come, but I feel like the tree doesn't necessarily need to kick you out, you know?
Yeah.
So
if Ruby stays the same, that would be boring, but she's not going to stay the same in here.
Yes.
You know?
I think she will maybe come out.
I just think that she's going to be presented with the choice that she could literally become Summer, and that Summer is going to tell her, no, you don't need to become exactly like me to be good.
Yes.
And that's going to be the resolution, right? But yeah, and so, back to Ruby. I'm assuming Herb doesn't, because he doesn't seem to recognize them as all, but like, I don't know, he could have just not cared to say hi. Like,
potentially.
You know what I mean? He could have just not given a fuck, right? Like, what's he supposed to? Oh, hello, fellow kids. Like, you know, he has shit to do, so maybe the reason why Herb didn't say anything to them, like, it could be the memory loss thing, because we don't know, like, you know, we don't know the exacts on, like, the memory loss. We know the prince forgot, but, like, was that a choice to forget? Like, in the heart remembers, how much does the heart remember and stuff? Like, I think, like, what if Herb doesn't say anything because Team WBY got where they were supposed to go? He was always trying to get them where they needed to be, and now they're there, so why would he say anything? You know what I mean? He inadvertently did his job. He got them to the tree, or he, you know, made them know, you know? Yeah, the tree invites you, and then you decide, I think. It's not that you're teleported to the tree. It's that you choose to go. Like, you decide to go, is how I see it. So yeah, what's weird, though, is that the blacksmith says, I didn't expect you here just yet. Which is like...
like you expected her down the line?
What?
I thought Mia would have killed you later, but here we are.
But, like, Ruby chose to kill herself. So, like, that's... I don't know. What do you guys think about
they
that?
never really specify... Well, later they talk about, like, Ruby asks about the souls.
Right.
And they don't really specify where they come from. We don't know if they're Remnant, or if they're from Remnant, as well as the Ever After, or just the Ever After. So maybe it's like, oh, like, you would have come... Or I expected you to see you, like, later in life, near the end of your life when you die naturally, not now.
Maybe. Girl, they don't remember? I mean... Like, but I feel like humans may remember. Like, even if the Ever-Aftians don't, I feel like that, like, I think that if Ruby chose to change in some capacity, like, she would still remember. They all decide to forget, yeah. Like, forgetting is a choice, but it's not an outcome. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily a guaranteed outcome. There may be some creatures that are able to choose that they remember, but most people just decide to forget because that's what they've been told to do. You know? Like, we had this idea that, like, oh, Neo will be different because she'll change, but she'll remember what actually happened to her. You know what I mean? Like, she'll remember what happened to her, and that's how she will be able to grow, in a sense, right? So we'll have to see on that. We got leaks? Are you guys serious about the leak thing, though? Like, are they real? I don't think that they're real, are they?
I'm just gonna, like, make a great effort to not.
Yeah. Am I right about my theory?
Oh my God. I hope there's, like, actual.
If there are leaks, tell me if I'm right about my Neo theory. Anyway, I'm just saying, I don't think that the leaks are real. I don't know. Maybe they are. But the last leaker wasn't.
Are the leaks all over, like, social media?
I don't know. Like, why do people keep... Sad news, we got leaks. Where are the leaks? Anyway, I'll look into that later. Leaks to the last episode, it is real, but how do you know that it's real? Like, is it, like, the file? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it, like, visual, or is it just someone on 4chan being like, I worked there, this is what's gonna happen? Because someone did that a couple weeks ago, and it was not real, it was bullshit.
Yeah, so that remains to be seen, I guess. I'm not seeing anybody tweet about it. So.
Someone leaked the Summer Rose turnaround, but that's in the credits.
Yeah.
Unless it's the model that they're talking about. The concept leaks seem to be real, the show leaks seem to be fake.
Okay.
I've yet to see an actual leak. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the person that was pretending to be, like, the 4chan leaker just took, like, production memes from one of the other RWBY animators' Twitter account and, like, posted that as, like, evidence that they worked on the show.
Okay.
But it was from other people. Like, there was, I don't know what exactly, but somebody found, like, oh, yeah, this is from the, like, this animator Chris's profile.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Models and concept arts. But that could get out some other way, right? Like, people could have that on their portfolios.
Yeah,
maybe. Or, like upload it onto, like, those portfolio websites that the animators use.
I'll wait and see.
But we'll look at it later. I'm not saying that they're fake. I'm just saying that, like, the last leak was fake.
Yeah.
So
and never trust 4chan.
The last leak wasn't real. I'm not saying that this one is fake. All I'm saying is that, like, the last one wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I'm not totally discounting it. I just want to give you guys the context. You turn down the music again? I just want to give you guys the context that, like, this happened a couple weeks ago and it wasn't real. So don't just assume that it was real. Would you be willing to give your reprise to Casey? I mean, if she asked for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
That would be cool.
Can I be on the soundtrack?
Yeah, imagine if you, like, something you wrote was on an official soundtrack. That would be dope.
I mean, because that's a whole other conversation. But, like, lyric writing is really my strong suit. And, like, the composition aspect in my head, like, I could tell you, oh, like, I want a violin here and I want it to sound like this. I want piano here and I want it to sound like... Like, I can describe things, but I can't compose. So, anyway. So, yeah, like, I would love to. And I would love to sing on the soundtrack. But anyway, I don't remember fake leaks a couple weeks ago. They didn't really get any further than the website. But anyway, yeah, so let's talk about the blacksmith lady, okay? After I had already gotten hooked on, and, like, after I had hooked everybody onto the idea that Alex was Juniper, I'm sorry to report.
Are you finally acknowledging that Alex isn't?
No, but I would like to point out a couple things. Alex, the cat later says that Alex wanted to fix everything that went wrong. So her ascending into the blacksmith would make thematic sense because she is here fixing people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The other thing is that the ribbons that she has in her hair are
kind of
similar.
look like dreads.
And, well, no,
right.
the color ribbons.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
And then also the hair tie is similar to Alex's hair
You're
tie.
right.
Now that we've seen the full thing. So really, there are two options, I feel. Alex is the blacksmith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing. Or Alex is Juniper, and that's the second thing. And her wanting to fix things. Like, she returned to Jean because she thought that Jean could help. Like, that was the first thing that she regretted, right? Was even poisoning poor Jean. So, like, I don't know where I land on this yet. Someone also brought up an interesting point that, like, what if you can ascend into multiple people? Like, that Alex is the blacksmith, but she's also Juniper, and she's also the Jabberwocker. Like, all of those things at the same time based off of what she wanted to do. So, I don't know. Right? Because I already hooked some RWBY tubers onto the idea that, like, she's Juniper now.
Yeah,
like, I
but you
finally
never hooked me.
them, right? But no, like, because here's what happens, right? Like, she says that you could say that, but that's a simplistic understanding of what the tree does. Like, I think that this seems to imply that, like, you could say that she's the tree, but that's a simplistic understanding of what it does. Like, that implies that the Everaftians always ascended just without her. Does that make sense? So I understand what you guys are saying, like, but who would have been doing the blacksmith's job? No one. The tree would have just done it by itself. That's why she says you could say that, but that's a simplistic understanding of the tree, right? Like, she's literally, that would be, if Alex is the blacksmith, that's foreshadowing to the fact that, like, you could say that now I am the advocate for the tree, but that's a simplistic understanding of the tree. Like, the tree is an organism unto itself. I am just now in a position to assist the tree on its situation, right? So, like, Alex being Juniper is a thing, I guess. Like, is still a thing that I convinced people into thinking, right? But, like, if this is supposed to imply the blacksmith is not a permanent role, and it's it wasn't here before Alex, and is not the tree, but you could say that she is a representative of the tree, I don't know. I think we are gonna find out by next episode at least, but yeah, like, it does make sense because Alex wanted to make amends with Jean, and so turning into Juniper would also make sense. So, like, they both make an equal amount of sense. It's just where I have lost the plot is the fact that, like, Juniper has elements of Alex, but the blacksmith has elements of Alex. So that is where I am personally, like, that's where I'm lost about it in terms of, like,
I think it's
you know what I mean? In terms of which one it is. Because the rabbit pin is so much of a thing. Unless she became the blacksmith and made Juniper and sent Juniper to go help Jean. And that's why it's related to her in some way. Like, that, it's not that Juniper is Alex, but, like, Alex sent out Juniper because she needs to stay here. Like, Alex created Juniper and sent it to go support Jean, right? So I think that, like, the rabbit is still gonna be tied to Alex if, you know what I mean? Like, Alex as the blacksmith built Juniper to go help Jean, but Alex is the blacksmith. Like, that's what she ascended into, was the blacksmith. I think that actually makes the most sense to me. But RWBY's like, I wasn't expecting to be here. Are you the tree? And she said...
Also, that looks to be Little's head. Because we don't see, and that looks like a mouse's head or a rabbit's head because it looks like it has little cheeks and a little nose. So that's much bigger than Little used to be. So I like the idea of Little becoming big and, like, saving the day in some capacity. Maybe they become, like, RWBY's wonderful talking steed. I like that.
I hope Little isn't a giant rat.
Maybe it's like a giant rat person. Who knows? Like, what's wrong with RRUSs?
Like, not like the Rat King. Like, you know what I mean?
Rodents of unusual size. No.
But, like,
okay.
anyway.
A big rat. That's alright.
But yeah, we don't really know what's going on with the Little mask thing, or what exactly is happening.
But it makes me happy.
Maybe the blacksmith incorporates discarded elements of ascended people into herself. Alex didn't need the ribbons anymore, so she took it. That's interesting, actually.
Maybe.
Especially because she seems to be,
to
like...
be something of a hack work.
Yeah, like, or even, like, I don't know, like, she has, like, robotic parts and she has tree parts. Like, she has multiple different face panels. It would just depend if we see something that Herb had right, on Herb in her, or something the prince had. So I actually do like that idea. Like, and that would mean that Juniper is still Alex, but we would have to, like, investigate. See, in the bandages, she has a bandage on her leg,
yes.
right? So those could be her bandages. So I do think now the most likely answer is that Alex is the blacksmith. However, I'm ready to be right if she is
now,
the
how
rabbit.
are we feeling about John being a butterfly?
Anyway, I'm just saying.
I want to text Eddie Reeves
Right.
after this ends.
I
I'm gonna
told
DM
you.
him on
I
Twitter.
DM'd Eddie, and Eddie put laughing emoji. Like, okay, so
I
for
am
context,
gonna point
I
it below.
DM'd Eddie as something, and I was like, you guys, like, must enjoy seeing, like, some of these crazy theories, like Jean being the butterfly, right? And he just put laughing emoji. Like, he didn't say anything. Like, you can't get anything out of that man. Like, he didn't say it was right, he didn't say it was wrong, all he did was laugh at me. So, like, you can't, like, Hunter's like, I'm gonna make sure Eddie confirms publicly that Jean was never the butterfly. He's not gonna tell you.
But afterwards,
I don't
can
know.
see that happening afterwards.
He'll never tell. Anyway, Ruby says,
Wishful thinking.
what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna die? And I think it's interesting how,
Also-
like, maternal she is, because, like, she was very much, people thought that she was a villain for, like, the longest time.
But
Like, people thought she was the Queen of Hearts, so that she was, like, villainous. Also, we still haven't gotten,
well,
what if
I
you
did
can hang
when we
up
saw
Ruby
her.
Rose like a old coat?
Yeah.
Like, still
Maybe
haven't
that's
gotten
an
that.
unused piece of dialogue.
Could be.
That
Yeah,
happens
I
sometimes.
guess so.
I also like how, like, Lindsay Jones doing Ruby's voice there, that, like, very, like, wilting, sad, like, am I dead? Or am I gonna die?
Yeah, the voice acting
like, it was
ate this episode.
amazing. Also, big robot lady.
Yeah, she's fucking huge, man.
Fucking big this one is. They are.
But yeah, I like this. The only thing that can happen to you here is what you want to happen. The choice of what you become and where you end up is yours to make. You don't know what you want, do you? And I thought, like, I don't know, she's so, like, motherly. Like, I just really liked this scene. I like her design a lot, as we are seeing of her. Like, as we are seeing, like, her fully the first time. But I like how she also shakes her head. She's like, no, I don't know. But yeah, so they all hear, like, a
Big
distant
explosion. Banging.
banging noise. And so, okay,
This
we
door
gotta talk
looks
about this
interesting.
motherfucking door.
Because that looks like a door to, like, where relics are. Except
Well-
there's no relics stored here.
There's a dragon,
And there's two
and there's
dragons.
two dragons.
So that's like the...
But why? Like, why would the gods make a door directly to remnants?
I mean, I guess we'd have to wait and see later, right?
I still have the theory that the blacksmith gives people their semblances. Even if the
Okay.
blacksmith is
That's a
Alex,
possibility.
like, or the tree, I suppose, right? Not, like, Alex, but, like, I still have a theory that the tree gives people their semblances. Like, I want to believe. I want to hold up, because why else would they have this door here? And then you also see the tree decal at the top. Like, maybe it's just to give them an easy way out, but, like, there's no reason why this should be connected to Remnant in any capacity. They didn't think that people from Remnant would ever fall here, right? And they could have, like, when they left Remnant, they didn't make a door to leave. They just fucking left, right? So, like, I need to know why. And I wonder if we're going to find out, or if it's just gonna be like, because. But what I think would be fucking hilarious is if they don't actually use the door. Is that Raven comes to save
Raven
them
comes in and we
at the
pop
last
a Raven.
minute, and
Watch.
then Raven is the, not the post-credit, but like everybody's
end.
ready to go through the door,
And
and
then
then the Raven portal comes in front of the portal. You know what I mean?
Like, Yang, me and your father, we've been talking, and we're thinking we're gonna... Oh, hello.
But like,
Who is
you
this
know what
older
I mean?
man you're with?
Like,
Is that a giant
if
rat?
the gods made the Ever After, then made the Remnant next, maybe they made this as a door for them to go between the two? Maybe, before they left, like, permanently? It's not back to Remnant, it's connected to the world people have their own connected to. Oh, okay, I see what you guys are saying.
Thank you to the one person who got my Shai Halud reference from a while back.
So you guys are saying the gods didn't leave this here on purpose. you're saying that the gods, that this just manifests because they need to go home? Basically, we still don't know how Lewis and Alex fell here, and if we never find out, I'm going to be, I don't know, like, you're gonna see me going to the tree. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just, yeah. Like, I don't know. I understand that there's a door here, but I think it would be interesting. It would be interesting. Imagine if Ambrosius made the door. I guess
he could, but why
Cinder
would they?
Destroy that. Cinder destroyed all the portals. So I feel like that's not right. But yeah, like, I think it would be hilarious if we never actually see where this door ends up, because we have no fucking clue where they would end up. Like, this doesn't seem to be a relic door. This just seems to be like a door. Like, they could, is our internet okay?
Oh dear.
They could fall through the sky for all we fucking know. Are you guys good? Do you guys see us? We're going into the... It does not make sense to me that there's a door here. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about.
It's a little, but I feel like we also have one more
like,
episode.
We need to know why.
To have this explained
because I can't live like this, you know? So...
Well, it looks like a different...
It was the gods, but like,
it looks like a different door than the door we walked into at the beginning of the episode, the little Pixar Monsters, Inc.
You mean
door.
In the intro?
Yes.
Did this just kill my little becomes a door theory?
I think it did.
Like,
I think it did kill your little become. It's okay. Don't worry. It's also going to kill your Alex became Juniper theory.
But like, yeah, like it doesn't make sense to me that there's a door here because when the gods leave Remnant, like there is no door required, right?
I guess so.
What do you think is going to happen to Neo now? We talked about that at the beginning of the stream, so please go back, or we'll make a specific video. The door can be what the gods left through. Like, I know that, but like, why when they can fly away?
Yeah, when they can...
When they can just fuck off and fly away, you know? That's what I don't quite understand.
I guess it's just one of those things that remains to be seen.
Because, well, we know it works because Lewis got back theoretically unharmed. But we
also don't know where this spits us out at.
Yeah. So I think it would be better if Raven comes to get them. I genuinely, because then Raven can go to Crow, and Crow is in Vacuo, probably.
Doesn't that kind of, I mean, it makes sense how they would be able to do it, but isn't that kind of
But it would be funny, because Team RWBY has a way out, but instead Raven comes to save them.
But then it's like, why did you did all this shit? Raven could have just, like, we could have just, like, hung out with the paper pleasers the whole time, avoided getting murdered.
Because it's funny.
I guess it is.
It's a funny ending, and it's also funny.
It's kind of like how in the end of The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf shows up on the eagles, and then everyone who watches it are like, wait, why the fuck didn't they just fly there with the eagles and drop the ring in the lava in the first place? You could have saved your 3 movies.
I think it's just funny.
It's the same kind of energy. Like, well, why didn't Raven just save him right away?
Well, because she didn't know.
I guess that's the only thing.
Or she didn't want to. Like, it took time. Or they could go through the portal and then Raven shows up to go get them. Like, you know what I mean?
Deus Ex Raven.
I don't care if it is. It's not Deus Ex Raven, though, because they have the way out in front of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's that cheap.
Unless the way out of them gets, like, destroyed or something. Somehow.
But that's why I don't think it's cheap. Because,
I mean, it would be weird, so I think it'd be
Crow isn't in Vacuo? I mean, I'm sure he's there by now.
Crow is in Atlas.
No, but if he's had time... Like, Tyrion and Mercury were going to Vacuo. It can't take that long.
I presume that Raven would go to Tai Yang. Tai Yang would tell...
Crow would be in Vacuo, though, eventually. Like, Crow is going to Vacuo.
Yeah. Anyways.
The door makes sense with the cat is the relic theory, because the cat isn't able to leave because it's the relic.
Oh.
Yeah.
That can make sense.
And that's why I think, like, even though it says, like, Neo has no attachments, which means she can't leave. I'm like, but is it Neo that can't leave, or is it you? Like, is it the cat?
Well, the other relics can leave. Like,
no,
Ambrosius
not without the object that holds them, though.
But then I guess what's the object for...
The cat?
Yeah. A crown?
We don't know. There's something around here, I guess.
Is he gonna, like, spit up a crown like a
Crow is in mourning right now? Why does that matter? He's still going to Remnant. He's still going to...
He can keep it trucking.
Vacuo. Yeah. So I think it would be hilarious if Raven shows up, even though they have the way out. I would quite enjoy
funny.
that.
Unnecessary, but funny. Everyone's like,
yeah, they're like, our way home. And I'm like, but how? I think it was the cat who can't leave, not Neo, exactly. Like, I think the cat's coping.
The cat might be coping.
Ooh, she can't leave because she has no attachments to Remnant. That means all I need is someone with attachment to Remnant, right? Like, I think the cat...
I love your curious cat impression.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind if it is actually Neo can't go through the door because she doesn't care about Remnant. Like, I think that's fine. Like, I think that makes sense. But I think it would be funnier if it's like the cat is coping. Like, the cat is the one that is coping. Yeah. Like, they think, oh, you know, it's not Neo this time. Like, but I'll get him next time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be funny if it's like, oh, well, you know, like, I can't go through because of her, right? He's basically just putting the blame on someone else instead of coming to accept the fact that he cannot leave the cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I'm thinking about, like, in terms of, like, the stuff with the cat, just that it may not be as, like, it could be the actual answer is that, like, yeah, the cat's right, it's because Neo has no attachments to Remnant anymore, and the cat is wrong, and, like, if the cat got into RWBY, it could theoretically leave. I think that because the tree theme is acceptance, I think it'll be the cat accepting that, like, the body snatch plan was never going to work.
Yes.
Right? Like, it was never going to work because the cat is projecting. The cat is the one who can't leave.
Cat's projecting.
But yeah, I love this.
It's so weird to hear Curious Cat's voice coming out of,
But this was so funny. Like,
oh, it is funny.
How long have they been trying to do this? And I thought this was hilarious.
Yes!
I'm like, whoever animated this,
that,
thank
like,
you.
huh? Hello? Yes, waiting for
I'm like,
you.
we have to edit these, but with Neo's, like, regular face and her eyes, which I think would be
mouth,
funny.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
She has the scary
Weiss
teeth.
was so bitchy right
Oh my
here.
god,
I
Weiss,
loved that.
the
Like,
Huntress herself.
this is why I'm like, you guys think Weiss is straight? That was like...
Oh, I loved it so much. It was so perfect. That
Do we think Cat Neo has aura? Yeah, obviously, because I think she does, right?
I guess your little plan to get out of here isn't working.
Right, like,
the way she never totally leans into the being a bitchy, the little that's
and
so
I like how the cat's like, you've always
so
been the worst of them. And also, like, how the cat gets out. What I really appreciate about whoever animated
Neo is
because I know Aaron did some of it, but
Aaron's amazing.
But, like,
do you know that Aaron plays the piano?
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about
Imagine being talented. Like,
I
what
was
the
just
fuck?
telling them. I was like, Aaron, like, you know, like, I know that you like to be an animator, but have you ever considered, like, playing the piano for money? And I was explaining, like, you know, at school all the time we need people to play tracks for us because sometimes we want to be Quasimodo when we're not supposed to. And, like, there's no track on the internet for, like, you know, Made of Stone in, like, -13 key because we're not supposed to be Quasimodo, right? Like, and so I was like, we pay people at school to make tracks for us when we get a song that's, like, not in a key that we can find on the internet. Like, you should consider doing that. And they were just like, I had literally no idea that was a thing. Or, like, that people needed that at all. And I'm like, yeah.
They're so cool.
We pay people a lot of money to make, like, plunk tracks and,
also,
like,
I saw a thing that Aaron was doing
us.
a bunch of the mocap work.
Yeah.
And apparently they just fell flat on their ass.
Ate shit.
And they were like, no, but I skate, so I'm used to, like, falling over. And I'm like,
yeah,
and
like,
you skate?
I love how...
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's like me, Hunter. I sing, and I act, and I dance, and I come on here and make my little hee-hees.
Listen,
and then I write, and I draw.
Oh, you're so special.
I'm also very pretty.
Yes,
like, you know,
Aaron's also very attractive.
I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, you're like, wow. And I'm just like,
I'm
thanks.
also like, wow to you very often. I can be wow to more than one person.
Oh, no,
right?
no, I know.
This is last week it was the Jum Jams Appreciation Hour where I talked about how much I love Jum Jams art. Now it's Aaron Appreciation.
I'm just like, well.
Because they just dropped a bunch of cool shit back to back. And it was like, it felt like it was like a first date where it's just like you're trying to convince someone.
That's how I feel about Allie. I was like, Allie, why are you so perfect? Like, they posted some Desert Oasis, and I was like, why are you so perfect,
That's how
Allie?
you get into your heart. Just draw you your favorite ship.
But yeah, like, yes, Aaron is very talented. I just thought it was funny, because you're like, and they play piano. It's like, yeah, it's almost like the one thing that defines us on the internet. Like, our career is not the only hobby that we're supposed to have.
Okay, but alternatively, I don't do shit.
Yeah, I know, Hunter. I think you need a hobby.
I can't sing.
have to start learning how to play. I remember Hunter's parents bought a piano.
My mom did. That was a bad. I don't know why I thought trying to learn to play the piano.
Some piano learning books, and it
going
went nowhere.
into university would be a good idea. I'm a little.
We mean Aaron is on the animation team, but yeah.
I can do a little something on a ukulele.
But yeah,
I'm funny. I can write too.
What I love about this is like how cat-like they still made Neo. Like what is like they get up legs first. It's so great.
Another good like DW.
Yeah,
DW
exactly.
name.
Oh man. So Neo can't go through the door. No, she has no attachments to your world.
Oh my god, that.
And I like that. I like how it hides the eyes and focuses on Roman's hat in terms of the shot composition, because obviously, like that was her last attachment was Roman, you know. So we like that. Yeah, nothing to return to. She has failed me just like Alex did. And I love like. What was that? They were making Neo so theatrical because I feel like even though she's being controlled by the cat, this is entirely in character. You know what I mean?
It's like a mixture of the cat stuff and the Neo stuff.
Like Neo would, like Neo does.
Yes.
In fact, like Neo does, right? Like Neo
does a lot.
Is
of
this
stuff.
theatrical,
yes.
like naturally? So I thought that this was great. Like this was really hitting. But yeah, I love Blake's little ears. Gotta make sure we appreciate. Blake's little
speaking
ears.
of Aaron, I remember Aaron said that like Blake's ears get very memeable in next volume, but I don't know what like the memeable ears
I guess we'll have to
they
look.
were talking about.
I don't know why I love this shot so much, but like just that we're able to see so much of Neo's hair, I guess, like in that shot I really like. I like her monologuing. This was good too, like right? And like
this scene up ahead where she's
so
perfect.
I'm like, who did this? Because I know
Neo's
Aaron did some of the mocap, but I don't know if this was all mocap. But I'm like,
Neo's such a theater
that's
kid.
why I love her, because I am also a theater kid.
Exactly.
We're finding out what our musical is on Friday, guys. Wish us luck.
I really hope it's Cats. Just to fuck
And Cats
with
was
you.
not on the board.
God damn it.
I don't want to distract too much, but do you want to know what the options are, Hunter?
Sure, I hope it's Cats.
Chat?
I wanted it to be Cats.
Do you want to know what the options for the musical are?
Because the notion would be so funny.
Cats was never on the board. So what they're doing is they put all the options on the board and they're slowly taking some down. So originally we had like Grease, Into the Woods, Oklahoma, Follies, Company, Hair, Titanic, Honk,
Honk? I haven't heard of
Sweet Charity, Jane Eyre, Into the Woods, Honk, Grand Hotel, Company, Follies, Thoroughly Modern Millie, Legally Blonde,
I hope they do.
Shrek, Sweeney Todd,
I hope they do.
Mamma Mia, Xanadu, Urinetown, The Music Man, Anne of Green Gables, Les Mis, Kiss Me Kate, Oklahoma, and Beauty and the Beast.
I really
So those were all our options. Here's what we're left with right now.
I really hope you do.
Here's what we have left over.
Legally Blonde.
Grand Hotel is gone. Titanic is gone. Beauty and the Beast has been deleted, unfortunately. So now all we have is Oklahoma, Music Man, Kiss Me Kate, Urinetown, Les Mis, Xanadu, Sweeney Todd, Shrek, Mamma Mia, Legally Blonde, Honk, Into the Woods, Jane Eyre Company.
If you do Shrek and
Sweet
someone
Charity
has to
and
be
Grease.
fucking green, I would love that.
So yeah, so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 options left. But yeah, Thoroughly Modern Millie has been axed,
I really want
unfortunately.
it to be Legally Blonde.
Cal as Lord Farquaad, I am gonna come to your house.
Oh, you as Lord Farquaad! You wouldn't even have...
Farquaad's a man!
You wouldn't even have to go on your knees.
Anyway, so that's all we got. That's all we got left over. I think that Shrek has too much of a cosmetics budget for us to do Shrek feasibly.
I want you to sing gay or European so
I
bad.
think Sweeney Todd would make sense based off of the space that we're singing in, or Legally Blonde. I feel like some of these are jokes because, like, we've all talked about how much we hate Oklahoma. So I think somebody just put that on there to torture us. I think Grease may be possible, like, still, right? So anyway. So I think Legally Blonde and Sweeney Todd are our most likely chances, but I'll keep you guys updated with what's going on. Cal is Eponine? Probably not. I would probably do Cosette. I'd probably, like, if I could, I'd probably do Cosette. Men play women all the time. Yeah, I guess, but like...
You could totally play Farquaad.
I guess.
You could serve that
But
Farquaad.
I wouldn't want to.
You could put your whole Farquaad into it.
But I wouldn't want to. Well, Into the Woods, see, we have way too big of a class for Into the Woods, so I don't think that's true. Anyway, this has been
there's a lot of characters
the update on...
total irrelevant.
You know, if you were wondering.
Also, RWBY put their whole, like, Crusy into this Neo segment.
I know. I love that. Oh, yes. That was so good. But yeah, I like seeing, like, you know, like this again.
It almost looks like the opening. Where they're walking.
Yeah, they're all walking in the sequence. And, like, look at how happy Alex and Lewis are. Yeah. I thought that was cute.
This is after they drug and murder Sean.
That cowardly, wretched girl.
Calxiyn.
Whose story you've been foolishly following all along. The same girl I followed, too, because she promised that she'd bring me back to Remnant with her, when in truth she had no intention of taking me. After talking to the tree, she had a sudden crisis of conscience. Decided she wanted to fix everything she had broken in the ever after, including poor Jean. So Lewis left, but at the very last moment, Alex didn't. See, because, like, the void is still here, but that doesn't mean the blacksmith was, because we don't see them. Including poor Jean. So Lewis left, and Lewis looks shook by whatever he's seeing on the other side.
So does Alex when you really look. So does the cat. They all look frightened.
So I guess Alex... like, told her brother, like, I'm gonna stay here and fix things and I'll see you again someday, and she never came back, which is kind of tragic, which is the tragedy.
Sad.
Yeah, the blacksmith's bandana looks like Alex's bow. So yeah, I know I hooked everyone on the Juniper thing, but I'm switching my answer.
You're overestimating your power.
Well, on Twitter, people were like, Cal, I believe you about Juniper, and I was like, I'm sorry to tell you, but I actually think... like, I do actually think it was the blacksmith now. Like, I think that she just sent Juniper to go help Jean. But, like, she herself is not Juniper. So what I'm getting at is she killed Jean. No, I mean, she probably poisoned Jean just because, like, he would stop her. Like, I don't think that he was dead. I think he's okay. Maybe, unless Jean ascends and we don't know about it. But, like, I think that it was just, like, paralysis. Like, I don't think he died. It was just including Jean, like, because she thought she killed Jean, but she didn't. And that's how the dagger got left behind. And we do see that the blacksmith has Alex's dagger. So, I do think that Alex is the blacksmith now. Alex was little, well, we don't know. I think that she's the blacksmith, just because of now the bandana and the ribbon, and I wanted to fix everything, so it makes sense that that's what she ascended into, was something to fix people. Yeah. So we'll see, right? What did you do to her? What would anyone do with it? This laugh.
Oh, that smile, too, is so unhinged.
But see, at least when...
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of characters in, Robot Chicken.
Oh.
That stop-motion animation, because they would always have this very, like, weird, cartoony, upright, big smile.
Also, we still haven't seen Alex's character model.
Yeah. Other than in the opening.
What if...
Alex Little, Alice
What
Little?
if because Alex saved everybody... Like, what if because Alex fixed everything, now she reascends into herself and goes back with Team WBY?
I'd like that.
Even though her brother is older and dead, like, probably. Like, what if Alex, because she wanted to fix everything in the ever after, but when you think about it, hasn't she fixed everything by now? Like, because...
What if we see Lewis again and Lewis is guilty now?
Maybe. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Because what did she have to fix? She caused a war. The war seems to be over. She fought the Jabberwocker. That seems to be a moot point. The Jabberwockers are still around and they're, you know, whatever. Trucking. They're okay. Like, they went to the herbalist, but the herbalist has changed now. So what if, like, the resolution is the blacksmith has fixed everything and therefore Alex now gets to go home with them?
Maybe. That'd be fun.
That could be interesting. Because Alex has a 3D model. Why? Like, you know what I mean? They need to, like... Maybe that's why. And some people are saying, oh, if Alex is little, then maybe that's why. But I don't think that Alex is little. I don't think that that's what they're doing.
Oh, my God.
I think that they probably would do the blacksmith thing.
They look so evil. It's just so wonderful.
Because the blacksmith has the ribbons and the hair
Yes.
and the this and the that, right? And so, like, I don't know if there's anything left for Alex to fix, because the prince is fixed, even though he's not better. He's technically fixed, right? The hunter mice are fixed. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm sure her brother's dead, but it would be interesting if she still came back with them. See, like, if Neo closes her eyes, then she's like cute little Neo again. But I want to see someone
Neo.
redraw these as like regular Neo versus just her being the cat.
Or edit it so it's her normal eyes. Also, her teeth go from like
normal to cat sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right now,
like,
it's
now
normal,
they're
and it's
normal.
not spiky scary anymore.
But yeah, like, what if Alex can fix everything and now... Because, like, why would they spend the money on the Alex model? It can't be just for the intro.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Like, they didn't bother giving Lewis a model, right?
Yeah, seemingly.
Models cost money, so there must have been a reason why they needed
I
a
could see
3D
Alex
model.
showing up later.
Unless it's just, like, that the blacksmith turns into Alex, like, temporarily to say goodbye, and that's how you know it's her or something. Anyway.
But then there's just another RWBY character that people don't know what to do with, like Pietro or Maria or... Probably Winter now, too, or the Aesops, or...
You know, she could help.
Yeah, she can help with her little dagger.
I mean, she may just be a civilian now.
That's true.
Right? She might be in the final, exactly, yeah. And so I like Jean's little, like, you monster thing.
Also, big, scary, Curious Cat Neo with the spooky, jagged,
giant
weird
arms. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't hate it, but it's extra eerie how it's like the nails. It's not the fingers that are long and point. It's literally just the nails.
But I think we will see
Like,
Alex in the
their
final,
talons.
for sure. We have to, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that. Like, what if she wanted to fix everything, so she completed her purpose, and so she ascends back into herself again. I think that's nice. I like
that for everyone involved.
Yeah. And so then
okay,
the
so
cat
no,
sees
Juniper
RWBY.
is in battle mode.
Yeah. And so then the cat sees RWBY and's like, oh, yes, she said, and I'm like, look at
love
little Neo smiles. He looks so happy. I don't care if it's the cat. She looks so cute.
I love the arms. They're so cute. They look so goofy. It's just Curious Cat is such a goofy, menacing character.
She's so cute. Oh, it makes me happy. Makes me happy. The arms remind me of Cinder. Oh, that's interesting.
Kinda, yeah.
Parallel.
I love how big her arms are.
Like, just give you a hug.
Like, look at Neo's arm by her biceps. They just, like, really stick.
I know,
Like, she looks like she has, like,
Oh,
pipes
that's
on her.
hilarious.
Like, it's great.
Where did
Like,
her
do you even
coat
lift,
go?
bro? Huh?
Oh, no, her coat's still there. Never mind. I thought her coat went higher on her body. That's why I was like,
Hulking
huh?
out.
We'll talk about Neo again maybe at the end of the stream, just for the people that missed it, but we had a theory about Neo, like, that they're going to, like, put Neo in the wood, and that we just don't find out what she ascends into, and it's left
And it's
as,
kind
like,
of
a
an
big,
open-ended ending for Neo.
mystery.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good way of really do it. Regurgitate it all. That's a pretty good, like, Cliff Note version.
But I do think the cat could be coping. Because the cat's like, you know, deep down she wants nothing more to return to Remnant. I can still use her. I'll just cut her out and she will take me there. Like, it's possible that, like, that's not true. You know what I mean?
It is very possible.
Like, it's possible that the cat just can't leave, period. And that'll be part of, like, the cat has to accept that, maybe? Right? Like, I feel like that could happen. And that, like, that way, it's not that Neo can't go back. It's that, like, you can imagine maybe she does and maybe she doesn't, like, in terms of the open-ended thing. But yeah, I just love this scene. All the Neo animation is great. I thought that was great. I did try to, like, look around to see if there was, like, a little anywhere, like, hidden secret.
But little is so little. It's like.
But yeah, we couldn't see anything.
Who knows? Maybe little is actually, like, tucked up in RWBY's
I don't think the cat would accept that. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the story maybe that the cat has to accept that. Whether or not Neo dies first before he figures that out is different, but, like, I don't think the cat's an evil character. I think they genuinely, like, they're like a child that was abandoned by their parents.
Yes.
When you really think about it. Like, so I don't really blame the cat for what the cat's been doing. So, but yeah, like, the whole thing is, like, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So, like, that could also hint toward, like, yes, they kill Neo as the cat, but she ascends and becomes something else.
Potentially.
Anyway. But yeah, I like it. Look at her little scrunchy little...
Yeah.
there's so many good little faces. even though it's not her, what are those lights? The souls that are moving on to whatever they become next.
And they don't
Do they
specify
choose
souls
what their
from
next
where,
life will be? Yeah, we still don't really know. See, this is, I'm like, my headcanon is that this is Penny. I don't know.
that
Like, you
would
know
be
what I
nice.
mean? Like, the one she looks at is Penny's soul. And it's not just the ever after.
Sad. Cry.
But yeah. Such concern for souls you don't know, or is it for yourself? And I like that she doesn't say that in a mean way. She's just genuinely curious. But yeah, like, looking at her, first of all, she's so huge. Second of all, like, I can't really see any detailing that would imply that she's an amalgamation of, like, the things that she's fixed. Like, she doesn't have wings or anything, so I do think that it's just, like, this is how... She doesn't have Alex's hair ribbon. I think it's more likely she is Alex, right? Maybe that's it. The purpose of the cat that the gods set for them is that they're meant to accept that they can't know everything. No one can know everything. They accept that, and then they can ascend. Yeah. It'd be funny if, like, the cat ascends to be a boy, and he comes back to Remnant with them as,
weird.
like, another character. I don't know. But
We're
yeah.
adding too many characters at this point.
But I do like the blacksmith and, like, how she's very comforting.
Back to the fight.
Right?
Part
Because
of me-
people thought that she wouldn't be.
I think we'll get the rest of this fight next episode.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was a little...
Neo's aura is not even, like, shaking here at all.
Neo's also kicking their ass.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, it's hard to know which one's the real her, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like her little evil laughs and everything.
Is she, evil?
But yeah, this was fucked up. Like, all these, like, zombie Ruby things.
Yeah, they're
They're
fucked
all,
up.
like, kind of color swapped in a different way.
And they kind of look like that's her first outfit, yeah? Or
No,
is that
they're
a
just
later
her
outfit?
same outfit, but
Okay.
color swapped. Blake should not be able to shoot bullets, but she's not out of dust.
You know, she's low on it.
Yeah, she's low, but, like, Weiss
hasn't been
still
shooting
had
too
some.
much.
What do you mean continuity, Dar? Didn't Weiss say that she had more? Who said they still had more dust? I think Weiss was the one out of dust, not
Yeah.
Blake. I think Weiss was the one that didn't
But
have
Weiss
dust.
does use fire later.
Someone had dust. Don't worry about it.
Just a little bit.
Someone just had a little bit left. Don't worry
Popeye
about
the
it.
Sailor. That's what it is, Alex. It's Pop Neo has like Popeye the Sailor Man on.
But
him.
yeah, like, I love
Yeah.
how the particles mix in with Neo's particles now.
And
I
also
thought
like
that was
how
cool.
like the psychological warfare doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like Yang just destroys all the fake rubies. I'm
Yeah.
proud of her for that.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I am getting the vibe. I don't know. Never mind. I'm not getting a vibe. Maybe this is fine. I just feel like the fight scene was kind of short, but it's also not done yet. So
No, it's not.
it'll probably keep going. I wanted to be the hero like the stories my mom read to me. I just wanted to do the right thing, but every step of the way, it's like, there's no right thing. I tried so hard, and I may have just done more harm than good. So, like, headcanon? Question mark?
Those
But, like, those are
constellations-
very bright.
Yeah.
So,
And you see the constellations as you move. But
Yeah.
There's also another brighter one down there.
But, like, they're stable. They're, like, in the background.
Yes.
So is this supposed to be, like,
Ruby.
Ruby? Wait,
Weiss.
sorry, hold on. No. Jean, Ruby, Weiss. Wait.
You mean
Jean,
Jean,
Weiss,
Blake,
Blake, Yang,
Yes.
Cat.
Maybe.
Because, like,
It also kind of looks like a reverse Big Dipper.
but, like, do you know what I mean?
But no, I got what you mean. You know we're desperate for
Blake's
things to
one
comment
click
on. when
ran
we're-
out faster than she expected. Yeah, that was all. But yeah, see, those are the souls in the back, is what I'm saying.
Baby's crying.
Yeah, I thought that this scene was really, really good.
Yeah, like, I know we've been saying this again and again, but Lindsay Jones is just an amazing
Yeah,
voice
and the
actor.
crying was animated
great,
really well, I
and the
thought.
crying's great, and it's just, they're so, everyone's so, this is the
Well,
Hunter
okay.
gushes about
See,
how talented
there's
everyone
more
is.
over here. So, like, I don't know what all that's about, but, like, those four in the back seemed more pointed for whatever reason.
Uh-oh. I'm not gonna
They're
look
talking about the leaks again. Anyway.
Well, I'm not gonna look at,
But yeah, I like the leaf transition. I thought that that was cool, like, into all of, like, the weapons and stuff. And, like, how the weapons are encased in ice. This was sexy of her, as always, you know?
Very,
She's just always
very girl
sexy. It
boss.
reminded me of Maria, because she does that to Maria at
yes,
one point, right?
yeah.
Like, I don't know, she looms over her like
Mhm.
that.
Maria's
and John
the
has
only,
his little, like,
Maria's the only
and they
person
lied.
that, like, Neo can loom
Yeah,
over.
I know.
The only one shorter
But, like,
than
she's
her.
looming over Jean, though, right now,
It would
in
seem.
a way, right? But yeah, I love how she bounces backwards. I love, like, Jean's like, you lied! You were never the brave knight either. Just more fairy tale nonsense. I love, like, kicking John in the head was great. Like, this was, like, insane. Like, whoever animated that, like, all the Neo stuff is so
Just,
good.
like, yeah, like, Neo looks amazing the entire time, the mixture of the two.
So let's talk about this. Some people are like, this shows that John and them are willing to kill Neo, but, like, Neo's aura is still up. So, like, this wouldn't kill her.
Yeah.
So I feel like John definitely has harmful...
energy.
He has harmful intent.
Well, they all have harmful intent.
Of course, yeah.
They're gonna murder her friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, you can kill someone when they're trying to kill you.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, they have harmful intent, but, like, this isn't necessarily, like, Jean was ready to kill Neo. Like, her aura's nowhere close to broken. It would not kill her. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, people using this as, like, evidence that, like, Team WBY's willing to kill Neo. It's not exactly that they're willing to kill her. Her aura's still not broken, so doing this would not change anything. They just need to, you know, beat her right now.
Yes.
We don't know if they're willing to kill her until her aura breaks and they still hit her because of how aura works in the show.
Yes.
So yeah, he's fighting for his life. Exactly. Yeah, like, he's fighting for his life. That's what he's doing. It doesn't really have anything to do with, like, whether or not the heroes would do, like, I don't want to say a murder, but, like, heroes would kill like, someone, right?
Also, this was fucked up of Neo, or I guess Curious Cat, to turn into Penny.
Yeah, well,
And,
I mean, I'm guessing the cat has Neo's knowledge.
Yes.
Right? And then Pyrrha, that was so dirty.
And apparently the move that Pyrrha does here is a move she does when she fights Team Cardinal in the second volume.
Yeah, like, they're protecting Ruby, too, so I think that all they would do is knock the cat out, not, like, kill Neo, unless they can't knock the cat out. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway. Are you okay? Do you need some water?
I started hiccuping all the time.
But yeah, this was fucked up that it was, like, Pyrrha back there. But yeah, I like the backflip. Just, like, we love to see it. But yeah, this little cat face was also great.
Oh,
I wish I got it in
face.
focus, but there's pictures of it in focus.
Yes,
on
and
Twitter.
someone, it was
Dev
sorry.
edited it with, like, Neo's regular eyes, which was really, really
Which
cool.
is just wonderful. It's so great.
But yeah, like, I loved this and, like, the friendly fire of it all. Because, like, I'm like, he's probably fine, right? Because, like, it did do the smoke, like the Ascension leaves. But, like, he's okay. He'll just get up, right?
Yes.
He'll just get back up. But yeah, I like who did this belong to? And I like how the blacksmith is, like, it's not about who it belongs to. Like, it's about, like, who
so
could.
Can I talk about some of these for a second?
Okay.
Yeah, if I can. I'm so sorry that I'm hiccuping. I was kind of going through what I thought some of these could be referenced to.
You have to keep going, I think, for the Cloud Sword.
Yeah, so one of them kind of looks, well, the one that Ruby is looking at here, that kind of gives me, like, Mjolnir vibes, like, short.
But Nora is already Thor.
I know, but, like, kind of, which is just what it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, right there in the background, it's hard to see, it's a little easier when they all glow later, but right in center frame, there looks to be, like, a Buster Sword, like what Cloud uses in Final Fantasy VII.
Which is actually Zack's sword.
Which is actually Zack's sword, yes, if you've actually played Final Fantasy VII, you know that. Spoiler for a game that's like 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything else other than, like, those crossed axes kind of look like the beacon coat of arms.
There's also, like, a bow back here.
Yes.
And also, like, I guess this is a shield, but I was like, is that a mirror? What the fuck?
Is someone gonna, like, hit someone with a mirror like it's
But
WWE?
yeah, I guess it is a sword. But yeah, I like this. Like, can you feel the woman who could hold it? Like, the woman you could become holding it. The weight of who she is. Like, she could be you. You could put any of them on and leave Ruby Rose behind.
You can see the Buster Sword there a little better over right there.
Yeah, I'm sure that
looks
Final
like
Fantasy reference.
Buster Sword. Like, that's the platonic
But, like,
ideal.
we have the double axes, shields, swords. Multiple Buster Swords.
It kind of repeats the pattern, but it would have been fun if it was.
It is like that Kingdom Hearts scene where, like, Sora's choosing whether to pick the wand, the shield, or the staff.
Yes.
But But yeah, then Ruby says it's also heavy. It's the only thing I can feel anymore, and it never goes away. The feeling of not being enough. And I thought that was like very succinctly of what like being depressed feels like.
Which like that's what I've really loved about this volume. Like the whole like not to get all sad on you, but Ruby's experience with like self-worth and value. I can relate to that, and it's very well put.
Yeah, and I think we all can. Like,
everyone
extent,
can,
right?
everyone can. But yeah, it was very well communicated, very well written, very well performed. Once again, like I think Kiersey and Eddie wrote this episode, and they did an amazing job.
Well, Eddie's also the head writer, like period.
Yes,
so he kind of writes. I mean, he doesn't write every episode, but like. But I
specifically remember him
like,
tweeting about this. With Kiersey.
Yeah. But I like this, like. How would you measure enough, right? And then we see Summer's weapon again, and Ruby has this quiet mom, because I guess now she recognizes it, where before maybe she wasn't sure, and she, like, reaches for it. The girl had a great many questions to ponder. What are you? And yeah, so this was the abrupt end to the episode.
Which was an abrupt... Yeah, it was written by Eddie Rivas and Kiersey Burkhart.
And so...
Kiersey and Eddie are so wonderful.
I think that now we can pretty much talk about, like... theories about next episode, like just in a general sense. But yeah, like John probably just fell like on a you know, one of these things. He's okay.
But like if he does die and he comes back and he's a twink again, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Also, the way they like really heavily designed everything, like even her weapon, makes me feel like Summer Rose is gonna come back in some capacity, even if it's like it's a flashback where we see exactly how she died.
Let me see if I have more screenshots, because I feel like that shouldn't be the last.
I feel like we can
Summer screenshot.
We could end on like a full screen Summer thing.
There we go.
Perfect,
it was. It stopped.
Also, the music was gorgeous. It had this very ethereal quality.
Yeah, like the low instrumental music.
That kind of. It reminded me of the music that they played during the Bumblebee admission and kiss, except almost less chanting.
But this is more like
and
blacksmith
more ethereal,
stuff. I guess this is concept art for like generally fight. I don't know like what exactly is going on with this one. But yeah, let's end it off, I think,
with
on the summer, or not just summer,
which that's
but
so
like
cool,
next
because like I love
series.
the idea that the weapon, like she talks about how she designed her weapon off of her uncle, like, and it's a scythe. But the way that her mom's weapon folds into a rifle, just like Ruby's does, like they perfectly match each other.
And I think it's
like a beautiful mix of the
nice
two, and it's so wonderful.
Like about like like all Silver-Eyed Warriors have scythe vibe.
Yes.
I think that's interesting.
Like her like big axe. I like that she's like kind of like, you know, it's like Ruby's Little Red Riding Hood, and she has one very big Little Red Riding Hood vibes, but also like the big axe, kind of like the huntsman.
Yeah.
Or the lumberjack, depending on the version you read.
And so I think that, like...
I want to get a better look of it in a gun form, though, because you kind of just see it folded, and even a general
I'm sure they'll post it on Twitter eventually.
I'm sure we'll see her fight.
Telescopes and stuff.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that we see the whole thing before we see her.
They had to put something back here.
I guess they did, but you couldn't just show like a photo of all the writers like smiling and saying sorry underneath.
But like, okay, so this is, I guess, a couple theories for, you know, before we go. For the way, we're on the road, right? Because,
can I just talk about her design a little more?
Okay, well, I have to pee.
Okay,
so
well, I'll talk about design while you urinate.
I mean, like, I was like, okay, Hunter, 10 minutes, let's go. But like,
well, we assumed earlier that we knew that this was gonna be Summer Rose's weapon, but now that we actually see it, like, now it has it's confirmed. It just fits her so well. It's such an awesome weapon. I think it's my favorite designed weapon RWBY has made so far. I haven't really seen it in action, but like I love Elm's weapon. Elm's weapon that becomes a hammer in the rocket. That's pretty great. I've always kind of liked the simplicity of Yang's. I like the original Summer Rose. What else? Yeah, they all look good. I mean, Crow's was pretty great, especially in Volume 3, how they make a big deal of revealing it. Neo's weapon is iconic, but this, I think, is like my favorite looking weapon they've ever done. As for her, like, general vibe, it's giving me, like... But it reminds me of... I guess, like a more It's like giving Little Red Riding vibes,
Yeah.
but it's more mature.
I do like the dress a lot.
I like the dress. I like the little leaves. I like how dignified it looks. I like that she keeps the white robe, but that it's white on the back but red on the inside. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
okay,
great.
so Dara's talking about, like, lack of WBY content, but I don't blame John for that. I would say, like, someone in the stream earlier said, like, it feels like stuff was cut from this episode. Like,
Potentially.
in theory, that would probably be the first shit to go, because, like, Jean stuff is important, RWBY stuff is important. Like, if there were little, like, team moments between Weiss
Which I
and
feel
Blake
like
and
Weiss has
whoever,
her moment of being good to
like, I still think that they
everyone
have moments.
and hugging Jean. I think
still.
that's a good moment. I think Yang and
But,
Blake
like,
have
if
their
that
good
person in
moments.
the chat earlier was correct, like, and they said, what did they say? They said, it feels like they trimmed anything not relevant to the plot. That's what somebody said earlier in
Which
the
is a
chat.
shame, because I do like it when they kind of
But I
give it a
feel
little
like
room to breathe, you know?
if that was the case and that, like, one person from earlier was right, like, I feel like that in theory, if there were any, like, Weiss, Blake, team attack, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? They would have, like, gotten rid of that stuff first, because everything else is too important dialogue-wise and whatnot.
Indeed, that does make sense.
But I still don't think that there was a lack. Like, Yang had a reaction to RWBY being in the wood, and Weiss still had her good moments.
And she did the talking.
Blake had, like, what did you do to Alex? Like,
they
I thought
all
it was so
helped.
good.
Even if the focus is on Jean, who needs the help, the rest of the team still helped them, and they're still involved, which I feel good about.
But let's talk about now next week, because this is the last time we can theorize about what's going to happen next. I mean, we can predict Volume 10 stuff next, but...
So I think Little's gonna come back, and, like, just when you think Neo's gonna kill them, and maybe Neo /
Little?
DC has, like, whacked away even Juniper, and it looks like Curious Cat's about to kill them, then, like, big buff... I want Little...
You're wrong for
I want
this.
Little to be, like, have a mouse head, but, like, a big barbarian body.
Okay.
I want, just the way how, like, RWBY picked a weapon, I want Little to pick a weapon, and I want him to pick that giant.
Are you being
battle
serious,
axe.
or are you joking?
I'm mostly joking, but I also think it would be fun if, like, it was just, like, big, like, monster mouse
next
attack.
episode,
that would be fun.
RWBY is going
but
to
I
have...
also want barbarian.
I think next episode, RWBY is going to have a conversation with Summer about, like, I want to be you, Mom. No, you don't need to be me. You have to be yourself. Like, I think that that's going to be the vibe. Like, I think that, oh god. I think that basically...
Oh yeah, cat and mouse reversal. I love that toast.
I think that Summer and RWBY are gonna have a conversation. Whether it's the real Summer or, like, an imaginary Summer, we don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know exactly whether it's, like, afterlife Summer or whether it's the real Summer or ghost Summer or whatever, or, like, figment of my imagination Summer. But I think that basically what's going to happen is that Summer and RWBY are going to have a conversation, and, like, the end of the conversation is going to be like, Mom, I want to be like you, but you can't be like me. You have to be the best you can be, right? And so RWBY chooses not to change, but the conversation with her mom fundamentally changes her. So that's one.
Jams, I know you're in the audience. You're the only person I trust to draw big, buff Dave the Barbarian Little.
But
you're the only one I trust.
It shouldn't be Little.
You can only do it.
But it shouldn't be Little.
You're the only one, Jams.
Like, defeating Neo needs to be about Neo, not about Little.
I know, but Little can help. Because it's just like you stomped on me, and now I'm gonna stomp on you.
First of all,
I like that idea.
RWBY, like, has the conversation with her mom, and based off of that conversation does not choose to be, like, Summer Rose. Like, you know what I mean? She decides that she just needs to be herself. Or maybe, but RWBY on her own isn't enough, but I think that the point will be that, yeah, RWBY on her own is enough. She just doesn't realize it. You know? Like, I still don't mind the idea that RWBY, like, ascends into something different, but I think the point will be that RWBY cannot keep idolizing her mom to this extent. That she will never be exactly like her mom. Right? And so, like, that's the first thing. Is I think that we're going to have a Summer Rose RWBY conversation in detail, and that will convince RWBY, like, that she is enough.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that she doesn't need to be perfect like Summer Rose was, and even Summer wasn't perfect. So that's the first
I like
thing.
that idea.
The second thing is with Neo, okay? I don't know if this is gonna happen after RWBY gets back, but I'm assuming it probably will be. I still like the idea that RWBY kind of bullies Neo a little bit into trying to fight back against the cat. Because some people seem to be under the impression that, like, Neo is already dead, but we already talked about how we don't think that the possession works that way. We think it's, like, Xehanort possession. Like,
yes.
It's not, like, people were like, oh, her internal organs are crushed already. And I'm like, it's a fucking magical show with a magical cat. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, she changes because she fully comes into her own person. Exactly. So, like, that's the first thing.
I have to pee. Can
now
you
have
this?
to pee. Okay. So, yeah, I was like, Hunter's leg is shaking a lot.
Okay, my leg shakes all the time. It always doesn't always have to do with me having
while
to pee.
Hunter's gone, I can reiterate, like, the Neo theory we had earlier for those who missed it. Because Hunter knows this anyway. So, Neo... Yeah, so, like, Neo... What was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, yeah, so, like, RWBY is kind of like, you know, like, oh, like, you're really gonna let this happen, Neo? Is this what Torchwick would have wanted? Was for you to, like, end up like this? Like, it's not like that RWBY's trying to help her and, like, that RWBY's trying to be supportive, but it's like RWBY is, like, trying to, like, antagonize Neo on purpose so Neo will fight back against the cat. And we have some different options. Some people think that Neo will regain control temporarily and eat one of the leaves from the tree. I like the idea that, like, there is a Neo clone with the parasol, and she uses the parasol to, like, stab herself and get the cat out, if that makes sense. And then after that, like, we'll basically have a little thing, like, our last time seeing Neo, will be that, like, we see the wooden, like, a sculpture thingy, like, whatever RWBY was, right? Like, we'll see Neo in the wood casing, and then if RWBY has a conversation with Summer, we'll see, I don't know how long this would be, but we'll see at least a brief conversation with Roman, where Roman's like, so, what do you want to be? Right? Like, how RWBY picks Summer's weapon, Neo picks Roman's cane, and it's left very ambiguous, but the idea is, like, that she's talking to Roman, and it's like, well, like, what do you want to be next, Neo? And, like, we as the audience never quite find out, like, what Neo ascends into or anything. Like, we don't really find that out, but, like, we see this conversation with Roman at least partly take place, and that gives us, like, some closure, and then we, like, our last shot is Neo being in the wood, and it's like, you can believe whatever you want to believe about what happened next to Neo, right? But yeah, so it's like basically, yeah, the same way that the huntsman cut little Red Riding Hood out of the wolf, and like the wolf's, little Red Riding Hood's grandma, it's like Neo makes an illusion of herself to cut herself out of the cat, pretty much. And then we see her in the wood casing, and it's left kind of ambiguous, like, what happens to her next exactly. I think that's the second thing. The third thing, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but this would be on, like, my bucket list, right? Like, I feel like that we need to know how Lewis and Alex got here, because that still doesn't, like, how? We still don't know that, right? So, I feel like they have to answer that. You know what I mean? People are talking about, like, the Jabberwocker, but, like, I still think, yeah, the idea would be that Neo is given, like, a vague ascension. What would become of the cat after that? I think that the cat would have to come to accept the fact that it has nothing to do with taking control of a body, but that they themselves can never go to Remnant. You know what I mean? So I think the cat will probably get, like, a kind of neutral resolution, in a sense. Like, it's not like the cat was ever evil. The cat just was basically abandoned by their parents Right? And so, like, I think with the cat, it'll be that the cat also has to accept that, like, it was never about, like, Neo has no purpose, so she can't go through the door back to Remnant. It was, like, literally, like, you cannot leave, because you are a cat. You cannot go. Maybe even the cat will ascend to be human, so they can go to Remnant, right? But yeah, people have theories about the Jabberwocker. I don't really care how it happens. I just want to make sure that Neo vaguely ascends.
Yeah. Also, no more Jabberwockers. That's more of a Neo thing than a Curious Cat thing.
I mean, I guess, like, you could have it so the Jabberwocker is what helps to free Neo as well. Like, she summons another Jabberwocker. Yeah. But, like, we know people that get eaten by the Jabberwocker supposedly don't ascend, so that would go against the ascension theory. I like the idea... But
the Neo Jabberwockers aren't the proper Jabberwockers.
Right.
So
I just like the idea that it's like... Maybe the Jabberwockers would scare the cat off from being inside of Neo. Maybe that would be what it is. And then it would be a very non-violent ending versus Neo having to kill herself.
Non-violent
like,
in
maybe
a sense.
The mere presence of the Jabberwocker freaks the cat out.
Yes.
It could be that, but I think regardless of what happens, I need Neo to go into the tree. That's what I need. Like, I need that.
Yes.
I think we also need the reveal of how they got there.
I hope that we get to learn that in some
And the reveal about
capacity.
the blacksmith.
Yes.
If the blacksmith is Alex, I think they'll reveal that next episode.
I mean, they do kind of heavily imply it at this
But
point.
I think the point is, next episode will be Ruby and Summer, like Ruby's character arc situation.
Yes.
Then it'll be Neo cat fight. Then it'll be Neo closure. Then it'll be Alex blacksmith reveal ? And then like Team Ruby goes home and whatever. So I do think we are gonna see Roman again next week. Like, I think that we will see him again. If Summer talks to Ruby, Roman will talk to Neo, is what I mean. And it'll be left open-ended. But yeah. So I think that would make sense. Is this our shorter stream? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a shorter stream.
But yeah, Neo needs to be saved or Cal will ascend.
I love how 2.5 hours is short for us.
But yeah, like, I think that the cat situation... I think they're going to make a point that the cat's not really evil, that the cat just feels abandoned, and so if you can resolve that in some way, like, you know what I mean? Because it's not really the cat's fault that the gods abandoned them. It's the gods' fault, because the gods are irresponsible. But yeah, I think on RWBY, I don't think that Ruby is going to become Summer. I think that the conversation with Summer is going to make her realize she doesn't need to be. But yeah. Yes. And so I think I'm pretty confident in all that. I feel like that they left a thread with what happened to Little, so they'll probably have to address that in some way. Yes. You know? Like, I feel like that they need to wrap up, like, at the very least,
Little.
Like, Summer and Ruby, Neo and Roman, Little Alex, and how they fell. Maybe. I would like the cat to just go to Remnant with them. That would be funny. But I think... Like, yeah. And so I think that those are the only things, like, the cat gets to ascend and they become human and then they can go to Remnant if they really feel like it, right? And so the final will probably not be 40 minutes long, but I think that's doable, honestly.
Yes.
Like, a 7-minute conversation with Summer, a 5-minute conversation between Neo and Roman. How much runtime? That's 13 minutes. The rest of the time being focused on Team RWBY and whatever.
Yeah.
That's like 13 minutes. Like, I feel like we can do it. We can do all these things.
I believe in us.
Yeah, like, I think we'll be fine. And that's it. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yes, I would agree. I'm incredibly... I loved this episode.
Yeah, I loved it
Even if it
a
was
lot.
a little... It does feel like you're right. It feels like a part one of a two-parter.
Yeah.
So that's painful, but then that's part of the joy. That's why
I think some people... Not that they're disappointed, but they're like, oh, we have to wait another week.
As much as I like binging, this is what I love. That anticipation and the artwork and everything that bubbles up when you have to wait week from week. Yeah. That's why I like this model more than I like the Netflix model. I do think
we could get post-credit of, like, Team Coffee or something.
Oh my god. Well, we have the poppers for it. Imagine if we get Team Coffee and Raven the same time and have to buy new poppers for you.
Yeah, I guess so. I want it to be like you. Yeah, like, and I wanted you to be better. Like, I feel like that, like, the whole thing is gonna be, like, that RWBY doesn't need to be Summer to be a hero. She has to find her own heroism. And that's the thing. The leaks are real, girl. Again.
Okay, so I went on Twitter, and I've been looking at Twitter a couple times, and I got Lily, who you might know as being fairly popular on fandom on Twitter.
Twitter popular.
Twitter popular, but also they're TikTok popular, I'm sure. But also they have interesting like RWBY content and cosplay content, and they saw it and they didn't seem to like believe it. So
some of them, I'm sure the concept art and stuff is, but like that doesn't mean what people say is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That remains to be seen.
Like, someone,
and I hope to avoid it.
Theoretically, could have accidentally uploaded their portfolio before it was set to be ready on, like, ArtStation or whatever. And someone could have just downloaded the concept art and then wrote, like, fan fiction about what's gonna happen in the next episode. Because somebody did that a couple weeks ago.
And Roman and you are gonna kiss with tongue and they're gonna be happy forever in their mansion.
I don't remember exactly what the leaks were from a couple weeks ago, but I remember reading them and I was like, wow, this is ass.
Yeah.
And then the leaker admitted that they weren't true later.
Yeah, 4chan.
Yeah, but anyway.
I also like the idea of what if a member of RWBY gets possessed by the cat. I want Blake
like
to get double cat.
Member?
Yeah, like Blake gets double catted.
They have purpose.
That's true.
But yeah. And so, don't worry about the leaks, guys. Or like, if you are worried, just close your eyes. I don't know.
Don't worry. Be happy.
I'll investigate that later in further detail. But yeah, like, we have to remember that just because somebody has the assets or things that look like assets, it doesn't mean that they know what happens in the like that. It doesn't guarantee the fact they actually work on the episode and know what happens. Girl, it doesn't matter. There's unreleased content floating around the internet, I guess. But like, if the images are just concept art, if they were from the episode, I'd be worried. But if it's just concept art,
but also
like,
I want to experience RWBY the way I've always
art.
Experienced RWBY, which is like as the episodes have been released.
Yeah.
I would like make a.
If this was screenshots from the episode, I would be worried. But like, you guys are saying it's just concept art and like models and stuff. Like, you could find that elsewhere. Like, you can. That's feasible. If it was pictures from the actual episode, I'd be worried, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I hope I don't have to see those.
Anyway,
I hope my eyes stay virgin.
Protect yourselves.
Protect yourself.
With NordVPN. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream.
Love the episode.
If you guys want to watch our reaction, check out the Patreon. That's the best way to support us, all that fun stuff.
9 out of 10 episode. Pretty amazing.
9 out of 10.
I loved it.
8.5
I think this season is going to go down as like one of the RWBY greats.
I mean, even like Vex was saying that this is the best written season.
Yeah. Vex is Vex.
Yeah, and so I think that was good. I know the concept art's accurate to the show, Dar, but I'm saying like in practice, like, you know, I'm saying like practically concept art and stuff is stuff that people upload to their portfolios and could be theoretically accessed by just anyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's concept art on like people's portfolio websites and stuff. And like, I don't remember what the context of this was, but I remember I was looking at someone's like professional page or something, and like I saw stuff for something that wasn't released yet. I don't know if it was Miraculous or if it was, I don't know, maybe it was RWBY or if it was something else, but I was like, this probably shouldn't be on here, but this person probably has it on here because they worked for the thing. Like, you know what I mean? They worked for the thing, right? And so like sometimes that shit just happens where like people update their portfolios or has their resume on their website and like, you know, and pictures and animatics and stuff, but you know, and they just, it accidentally gets out into the wild somehow. Like, usually people will give their employers a password to check their stuff, but no website is 100% secure, which is why you should have, anyway.
NordVPN.
There's no NordVPN. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Just, you know, if there are leaks, just protect yourself. Don't read
your
them.
Eyeballs.
Unless my Neo theory's right, then you can read them. Yeah, if it has Roman and Neo at the end of the leaks, then I'll be happy.
You know, wouldn't you want to experience it the way...
No, I'm just saying. The leaks are fake unless there's Neo and Roman content.
And then they're real. Then that's how you know they're real, everyone.
Bye, guys.